I got the room open. You can join.
Okay.
Alright, I guess we'll get started. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. We got CPL 4, the first quarterfinal match that we're going to be casting between BAS and the Salt Mines. The seed number 2 versus seed number 7, so a little bit of a skill discrepancy from the regular season, but hopefully these guys can show up and make it an exciting series. Today I'm joined by MrWizard. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for asking.
Well, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit before we jump into this first game, do you have, like, you were part of the CPL and you were on Goon Squad. How'd you guys do this season?
Pretty well, except for the latter half of the entire season. I personally was basically out of it after the first 2 weeks because I started working a lot. But I'm back now. I'm going to DreamHack Montreal. I'm excited. I'm a D-rank Protoss. I tend to call games too early, and I regularly cast with Nebline. That's my spiel. There we go. Done.
Fantastic. DreamHack sounds like it'll be exciting. You'll have to make sure to let me know how that goes. Yeah, I've never been to an offline LAN like that. Hopefully the next NYC one I can go to. Nice. But we're going to get started with our first Tier 3 game, and if you look at the scoreboard, you notice I already put a 1 for the Tier 3 BAS winning a series because there was unfortunately a walkover. But that's okay. Things come up, and this is just a little bit of for fun, not super serious. Playoffs hopefully making people try a little bit harder, but walkovers still happen. Real life comes first. But we're going to begin to our first Tier 3 match. And I believe the players are... We got Durandal and Azrael, a PVT. Have you played with either of these players?
I've not played them, but I've had the pleasure of casting both several times.
You got any expectations?
Azrael tends to do either like super Terran boring play or a 2-fac in this matchup that I remember watching. These are, and then Durandal has done. Actually, that's really funny. They both do either like the most stock standard build they can possibly find or some really extreme cheese. He's done Proxy Gate before.
Alright, so I'm just going to say officially, you heard it here first. You said 2-fac and then it said they both do extreme cheese. So you just called 2-fac extreme cheese. We have it on the record.
I did, yeah. It's okay, let me put it this way. Terran doesn't have good cheeses, right? They don't get that. It's not an option for them. So
yeah, that's a fair assessment, I think.
Okay, this matchup specifically, there are things in other matchups, specifically TBT, there's real cheese. But that's only because the other guy is equally as handicapped. Hey, just calling it like it is. In other matchups, it's BBS and 2-fac, and both of those are like, they're not actually all in, but for how much Terrans tend to commit to them, it feels like they are.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think it comes more to a player thing, where it's just if you're really an aggressive player and you do that opening, it's like with Zerg, they can do like a 3-hatch Hydra, and it doesn't have to be all in, but you know it's all in. Like someone that wants to do that build, they want to do something aggressive. And
yeah. I mean, Zerg's different because drone count, but like, anytime you're not getting a second command center as Terran, I have to call that extreme cheese.
That's fair. So we're on circuit breakers. We haven't like introduced the map or anything like that. We got circuit breakers in its cross position, and it doesn't look like we're gonna have anything too extreme from either player. No one building buildings in the middle of the map or anything crazy like that. So
you can't on this map, but yeah, I take your point. Well, there isn't anything crazy going on.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of map though, especially it's playoffs. Maybe you got that little bit of that jitters if you haven't played before. Don't know if these players are new to CPL this season or returning players. So maybe you just want to do something a little bit safer, get into a normal game, and not like go on tilt right before something gets serious,
Yeah, Azrael was in CPL 3, I know, but I couldn't say about Durandal. I think also CPL 3. Good pick on that probe. Scout's late, but I don't think it'll matter because Ezreal didn't get a zealot. So.
Yeah, it's still even hard to block the ramp even if you do get the zealot, so you can usually sneak
Especially
in.
on the space tile set, you're absolutely right. He is producing more Marines, so I think we're looking at FD here or something like that.
Well, he did drop the SCV count to a single guy in the gas, so that does seem like some kind of early expand otherwise if you're going to keep the pressure on you.
Still definitely going for an expansion, but I think you wouldn't be making 3 Marines before Command Center. He could be Siege Expand.
And we'll have to see what that first upgrade is going to end up being. We do have 2 gateways, it looks like 1021 for that Dragoon pressure. Not all in like the earlier variants, like a 1015, but once they get the pressure on. Unfortunately, with the cross map, it's going to be a little more difficult, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't know about that. With no scout, too, that seems questionable.
He did get the scout into the base to at least see where it is, and he did see like guys on the gas.
He didn't see the factory, he didn't see anything actually.
Yeah, I mean, but it is gateway Dragoon pressure. Like, you're gonna be like, there's nothing gonna blindside you where you're gonna be caught out.
That's a good. Well taken.
Yeah, we'll have to see where he wants to go from here. Is getting that range rather than like, there's like that old style where you skip the range just to get the faster expansion, just because you want defense. So it does look like he wants to actually get the pressure on.
You don't 2-gate goon into no range. That's not a thing. Or if it is, whoever designed it was a fool.
Well, it's an old build. It's outdated. Like, it's not bad. It's just nostalgic.
No, it is.
It's nostalgic.
Okay, well, this goon is having some trouble, but when aren't they?
Too true. Far too true. Well, we do have the siege mode coming up first, so it looks like maybe it is going to be that siege expand rather than the FD without getting the spider mines. So I think the Terran could be just very content to get their first expansion up.
Yeah, I'm interested. I think Azrael's actually in a little bit of trouble here. He's added a 3rd gate, and he's massing goons against siege expand. That's just bad news bears. No matter how it goes when this push comes out. If there's a tank on the high ground, this push ain't gonna be that scary.
Yeah, I definitely think Pross is gonna have to pull some kind of miracle here. If he can get up before the siege finishes, but that's running out of time, he needs to not poke this barracks and really just run straight for the ramp. Might be able to get something done then, but
yeah, and also, I mean, I don't think he could break the ramp either. Not without these goons that are walking up now. Now he really needs to go.
Yeah, I think he can still hang around, but he isn't going to be able to break through. Looks like he is setting up to take that first exit and getting a robotics, building a lot of buildings early.
And no luck. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. He's going to have to make something happen in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, we'll have to see where he goes from here. I mean, you could always do like a quick double expand. That's something you can do following a normal 2-gate.
That would come under my definition of something happening.
Yeah. I am just very curious. It seems like the pros just wants to be really extra safe because getting the robotics in this many gateways early, it ensures you're going to have plenty of stuff, but you're not going to be able to take bases as fast as you want. He's actually getting a shuttle, maybe looking to bulldog and break the turn.
Yeah, he's just canceled all his goons and gone into zealots. Yeah, that's a bulldog. We'll see. Terran has not started an engineering bay, but does have an armory. So, but upgrades already started. So, I don't know.
Is this a little greedy for the armory this quick?
Not. I'd prefer to have some sort of anti-air, but the armory technically is anti-air if he builds a Goliath. That's a weird. It's a little bit wonky to do it that way, but it does work. Especially if you're planning to play super ultra defensively. And the later you can get the eBay, the better as a Terran, just in general. There's almost no reason why you actually want it. This tank positioning is not acceptable, but if he puts the barracks over it, it wraps back around to being kind of meh.
Just because of the one that's so far forward? Because, I mean, having them spread out like this, not all piled in one spot, will make the Bulldog a little less effective, at least.
Yeah, it's way too far forward. You need to put the goons next to each other so the siege damages them. The splash gets them. He's wanting, this super far out engineering bay means he wants a really fast third, which is unfortunate considering what he's about to run into.
Yeah, this is actually really weird from the Burrows player though. He's doing this really aggressive 2-base build, and it looks like he's going into 2-base Arbiter behind it. Like really trying to get the pressure on, not want to go into a late game against Terran.
It's a cool build. I'm not against it inherently, but if he walks across a bridge with his goons, he's dead. Because goons don't do that. And I mean, 2-base Arbiter.
It's hard to justify it over 3-base on this map, especially. It's so easy to get 3-base
well, just as a general rule of thumb, Terran isn't gonna push out.
Well, we do have that shuttle down the bottom. Maybe less of a bulldog, more of just a drop, trying to figure out where he's going with his positioning on the shuttle.
Well, Terran started his third command center, so the situation is rather problematic. I mean, he gets a tank, pick him up, nice.
Ooh, this could actually do some really good damage, I think.
There's Marines, and also Vultures.
Yeah, he is just trying to go through with the Zealots, wasn't trying to move forward with the Goons as well, so it gets a tank, but I don't know if that was really worth it.
A tank for 3 Zealots when you're this economically far behind comes back to being like an even trade, I would say, as opposed to a winning trade. And now the shuttle's revealed and the cloaking device is off, and there will be turrets everywhere in the next 2 minutes, which means that the Arbiters will be that much less effective.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like maybe the build kind of countering itself a little bit. I'm actually curious what the Terran push is going to be, because you get that early armory and going to the 5 factories. I think it's going to be like one of those.
He hasn't got +2 yet. He hasn't started +2 yet, so it was probably just a player error. I would call it, not the early armory, but the lack of +2.
Yeah, but it looks like he's going to be set up for that big mid-game push, and really the way Pro survives that is with stuff. And if you don't take bases, you're not going to have the stuff needed.
I mean, yeah, Terran has had this game won since the Nexus was late, and it's not really, now it's just a question of finding the time to go kill him.
I see like we are going to foil each other quite well in this cast. I got to be optimistic. I'm like, no, this is still possible. He can do it. You're like, no, it's totally over.
I hate to break this, but literally all the casters in the world, except for me, appear to be really optimistic about everyone's chances, and he's dead. He's dead, Jim. Mr. Rayner, I don't feel so good.
Oh, man. Oh, we see the Vultures poking at these Zealots to get in. These Zealots are not going to hold for very long to actually stop this. So I'm surprised
he's not started. He's switched to Goons, but those won't be done in time. He's got to bring his Goons back from the front, but he's not. So these Vultures will eventually get in. He could have just left them sitting there. He didn't actually have to.
Yeah, he's microing them and not for no particular reason. But that's okay.
Sees the double Stargate. Goons come out to clean the Vultures up. Good deal. All is well. That drone pull worked wonders. That mine is about to do miracles. Never mind.
Yeah, but you can see Terran's still pulling.
Scout is a fair trade, especially with this Arbiter not started yet.
Yeah, you got the mining off the natural as well, and you see Terran's already up to like 40 plus supply, looking like they want to do a mid-game push. I don't want to just blindly agree and say no, this is totally over, but it's hard to imagine a world where Burrows doesn't die whenever Terran decides to move out.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I love about observers, is when they're dead, you can tell they're dead, and you can just go kill them. It's one of my favorite things about Protoss. Yeah, the Arbiter defenses are going up. He hasn't guarded the natural, but the rally point's in the natural, so it's less terrible. +2 finally started, but that'll be super late. But if he goes down and takes the free 4th that Circuit Breakers gives you, it becomes hard to argue with. Arbiters still haven't started. I don't know why. They just haven't.
He pushing into his high ground, trying to break this. He's losing all of his goods and gaining less and less control of this. That is something I don't think he could have afforded to do, like losing the units there. You didn't get the control of the high ground. You killed only a couple tanks, lost too much units for that.
He doesn't. I assume that he hasn't realized the position he's in. Otherwise, he would have GG'd. But these tanks coming out should convince him, because that looked like the move of, oh, he's starting to take his third because he's online with my timings because my timings are hilariously behind. And so I'm going to go to block the third with my army of units that could theoretically fight 6 vultures and 3 tanks. But he has 25 vultures and 6 tanks.
We see the Protoss finally starting Arbiter, adding on 3 more gateways. Has that third down in the lower left, but it's not even saturated. It's effectively doing nothing yet. And Terran's slow pushing and doesn't even need to, honestly.
Yeah. Also, you can't support this on the 2 bases that he's running, and you can barely support this on the 3 bases, especially since one of those is mining out. But here's the GG.
We'll have to see if this goes through. This is definitely a strong force, but we'll have to see if he might do enough.
If he keeps running vultures into mines like that, it becomes a lot more of a question than it was. Not that it's a question at all either way, but you know.
And he's
25 vultures for effectively free.
Yeah. Always the thing I'm looking for in this.
10 HP science vessel is awfully brave. It's just seriously.
I don't know what it's really going for anyway. It's not like he's seen DTs or any indication he needs that detection so far.
Well, every low-level Terran has that nightmare of having come out of been winning the game, glanced away, glanced back, and there's an Arbiter and everything's dead, and then you scan and everything's still dead, but there's a Protoss army now.
Well, that seems completely fair. Terran's still getting their stuff rallied in.
The D-Matrix 1 HP Vulture. I love it.
Is the D-Matrix actually a full-on shield? I thought it just reduces damage. So you'd
not.
still take the 1 damage and die, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Funny little
doesn't
interactions.
Actually have any anti-air, so like if there was a scout here, it might actually be moderately effective. Here comes that Arbiter, that first Arbiter, and there's 2 science vessels.
Yeah, Arbiter very far away from having enough energy to stasis.
That Arbiter just killed the science vessel. Nice.
People say it'd be better if Arbiters don't have an attack. That's exactly why it is wrong. Look at it. It's going to be able to poke away these tanks incredibly slowly. We see Terran just.
We're still in this game, honestly. I don't know where we're going with this.
I mean, it could just be one of those things where if you know the game's lost, rather than leaving right away, you take the time, slow down your play, be calm for the next one, so you don't need to take a 15-minute break between the games. Some little situation like that.
True.
But gotta think that what's going through Durandal's head right now can't be looking too good. He went for his game plan. He got a halfway decent drop off with those first zealots, but it didn't really do much, and his opponent showed that they play a solid macro game. I would not feel comfortable going into map 2 given that situation.
I mean, you've yet to actually try and play a macro game versus your macro game opponent, so there's at least that in your favor. Arbiters are good when scans are lacking. I mean, there's no AA. Things that do damage from the sky are good. Wraiths do work.
Well, there is that 1 Goliath now. That's all he's going to need.
Yeah. And he got his stasis out. His stasis is the Goliath, and now the 2 Arbiters are going to lose to the Goliath. And I do mean that literally. This 1 Goliath is going to kill both Arbiters.
Yeah, well, he's got the +2 done, all that extra damage, making Goliath truly an absolute unit. And
there we go.
Finally moves on to the second game for Durandal. So
that was an interesting build, though. It's a super cool idea.
It just does. It just doesn't give me confidence when you get one of the easiest macro maps to set up. You decide to do something very aggressive, borderline cheesy, because that strategy, and then you're moving
on
in.
Circuit Breaker, any positions but the horizontal spawns is so bad. You can't argue with that.
It's not great. It is not great.
For the Protoss, you're just having a bad day.
Oh. So we're gonna see if this game.
I forgot these games were played on Whiteout. Nice.
So you like Whiteout?
I love Whiteout. It's a fantastic map.
I think it's a fantastic map to watch. I was so mad when I was entered in the CPL pool. It's a non-ladder map with a really extreme gimmick. No.
But that's what makes Brew War fun is because the thing is CPL has this obsession with playing standard, and it's a good obsession to have because most of the games are played on Fighting Spirit, but giving people who are bad, who are really bad, like me, the opportunity to play non-standard is so nice because you get these games. Oh gosh, what game am I thinking of? The one MrWizard versus Checkmater. I think it was in an L Master event. Anyway, it was on, I believe, this map, and it took nearly 20 minutes for a 6-base Zerg to kill a 2-base Terran. It was fantastic.
See, I would buy that argument a lot more. That it's like, no, we get to play on non-standard, do stuff. But I remember the backlash when people were like, "Why are we playing on crap like Medusa?" And then when they were doing the vote, like, "Should we replace Circuit Breakers with Andromeda?" Like, everyone was like, "No." So then I gotta play on Whiteout. Like, you might as well add blockchain. Just makes me want to hate my life.
But if we add blockchain, I get to cast TVT on blockchain, and that is so good. You can't. I mean, the value of that, just for sheer entertainment purposes, is.
Yeah, I think then I'd start screening what games I decide to cast. If there's a TVT on blockchain, I might be like, you know what, not this week. I'll find another match.
Blockchain TVT is best TVT. By far.
Is there a best TVT? Is there? I think the best TVT is when someone proxies a building. Then action happens.
I'm offended. I have casted the longest TVT in CPL history. I sat through 2 hours of a guy with 25 tanks fighting a guy with 4. Okay, and I enjoyed every minute of that game. That's a lie. I didn't actually enjoy that game. But the point is, I like TVT a lot. Okay, it's a great matchup. It's by far the best of the mirror matchups.
That's 100% wrong, but it is a better matchup than I give it credit for. I do appreciate it as long as one player is being proactive. If both players be really defensive, start slicing up the map, then I kind of want to take a nap. But enough about TVT. Let's talk about this game. Both players doing incredibly standard stuff, but it looks like the Terran didn't take guys off the gas this time from after building the factory, so
that
maybe a little
correct.
more of an aggressive
At this level, that's occasionally a mistake, considering, okay, now he's producing Marines again, so I begin to wonder. If he'd stayed at 1 Marine, then we could have clarified it as a mistake. Or possibly a starport build. Those are always super fun. But this double gate thing's coming down again, which is cool.
It does look like this gateway is a little bit earlier than last time. Typically, a little earlier means you have to do a little bit more damage, but given this is a 3-player map with shorter rush distances, wants to get in his opponent's face, and I'm still leaning that he's scared honestly, of the macro game.
I think it was supposed to be earlier last time and just didn't get thrown down on time because of build mistimings. Because what he's doing, I'm pretty sure, is a 10-15.
Well, the first game he hit a 10-21, which is good if you're planning to expand behind it, just to put pressure on not having to do damage. This time, with it being earlier, I think he's going to have to do some damage, but the rush distance isn't too bad. As long as he can get there before the tank's out, then he's going to be able to walk up and really start harassing stuff down.
Yeah. We have a command center, so we can clarify that was in fact an accident on the gas.
Okay, well he did move down to 1 eventually, just not as fast. Happens all the time at these lower levels. So you try to glean little things. It's like, oh, I'm gonna know.
Literally every day. So yeah,
we do have.
And I'm tier 2.
Yeah, the Protoss is getting a robo, so looking like maybe they want to get observers or try that shuttle play again.
It's gotta be.
I mean, 2K Robo is a normal safe build. It's just a little old style again. Like, it's not a bad thing, especially if you're expecting an FD from your opponent so you can clear the mines out.
I mean, yeah, but you can hold FD with 21 Nexus, so I don't know if it really counts as a normal build anymore.
I mean, again, we're going to spin the optimism here. We're going to...
He's got to kill him, like, in the next 2 minutes, or we're watching a repeat of last game.
Yeah, with the siege mode first and not being an FD, getting up here and breaking this. Now, he doesn't even have enough goons to 2-shot the tank, and that's assuming he doesn't miss a single shot on the high ground. I think you have to give us up and just expand immediately. Which he is sending a probe out to do, so maybe trying to do that instead. Losing early goons
wow.
is super
Oof.
bad. You can't afford to be doing this early.
Yeah, he did give up on the shuttle. Nope, there's the shuttle and the zealots.
Alright, cool.
That's enough money to build a Nexus right there. If you didn't do that, you could have built a Nexus and stayed in the game.
Well, hasn't started one yet. Finally starting one now, but it's already just starting now with the CC just landing to start mining. Definitely going to be in a bad spot, and with siege mode already done, and this map also having that high ground kind of area to narrow out the choke, it's going to be hard to break through on that. So, want to see a double expand behind it? I got a feeling we're not going to.
Well, yeah, no, that's not happening. It is an interesting. I'd have to look at the timings on that build because I'm moderately curious as to whether or not 10-15 into double expand is an okay thing to do. Because if it is, then suddenly you open up a whole really interesting build order tree of like, I'm going to do this super ridiculous early pressure, and then if you opt to go with a safe build, I'll just double expand and it remains equivalently okay.
You can usually get away with the double expand early, as long as you can get your opponent in a defensive posture where they, like, the vultures aren't out on the map, you have the goons containing outside, it's natural. Then you have time to get the stuff up and get your gateway production.
Super map dependent.
Yeah, you also got to delay your tech to do that, and just get raw units.
4 goons and 4 zealots versus 4 tanks and 3 marines.
With Spider-Mine's nearing completion as well, so if there's any backup vultures to help out with this. We got the zealots moving in here, and let's see what he can get done with that. It actually wouldn't be a bad idea to stop this factory from finishing, but going straight for the tanks instead.
And there's no...
Zealot's going in. They're doing some pretty good damage to these. No repair, and the goon's moving forward this time.
Okay,
this breaks the front.
We got a game. Should be using that shuttle, but whatever, that's alright. Goons are in the base.
Lots of SCVs being pulled to defend this. Not sure how well this is going to work out.
These counter goons, that is how it works.
Well, the SCVs really not. You need to be repairing the tank. Is what is much more important.
Yeah, there we go. I was gonna say that shouldn't work.
Azrael tapping out after that final tank goes down.
Yep.
Alright, so we saw how that zealot drop was supposed to work. Now I'm curious, is that going to work in a game 3 after trying it twice, once working, once not?
Yeah, and also, that was not... He didn't need a GG at all. I think I would have put Terran in an advantaged position, even after that effective killing of all the tanks.
You think so? Because, I mean...
Yeah. Protoss' Nexus wasn't done.
Yeah, but you could use the shuttles. SCVs are never going to kill your ground units, and you could start harassing things down, and it would be 2 factory production.
But he had a zealots and a goon, and then 3 more goons. That was it.
I mean, if you're just feeling like that might not be it might be better just to get into the game through with a clear head rather than like trying your heart out to fight out.
Especially if you consider yourself better than the other player.
Alright, well, we're going into our game 3 cross game. I love this map. I love this map to death. I'm so sad that it's gone.
As a Protoss, this map was pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess I could say as a Protoss. I mean, it's cool for Terran too. Like, it lets you do factory stuff. You get a decent wall off to do CC first and things like that.
Yeah, no, it's a cool map, but I was more thinking about our poor Zerg brethren.
I don't like to think about them that much. It's.
I mean, just to put it in perspective, this is a map where you cannot Hydra bust under any circumstances for any reason. It never works. That makes it a very difficult map for our Protoss, for our Zerg friends.
I mean, it does let the Zerg have the 3rd and 4th, that one narrow ramp that makes lurker defense so much more effective, and having that high ground going to the natural does make sieging into the stack defense a little more difficult, but I get what you mean. I feel like I don't.
A third of a matchup is just not an option for them because Hydra busting is literally a third of all PvC.
Well, then they can learn to play the macro game on cross game.
Yeah, seriously.
This feels like a little. This feels like a little bit of an early move out for a Protoss player. You don't have to be
He's
going
been
out
pylon scouting every game. As on a 2-player map, you should pylon scout. It's the correct thing to do.
You think so?
Yeah, because you can gas steal.
If he does that, but we'll have to see if he get there in time for that. That's not something I ever really practiced, so I'm not super sure on how fast he can move out for it.
2-player maps, I think he.
Yeah, see, like he didn't get there in time for the gas steal.
Right.
And this build doesn't seem like completely out of order for a Terran. It's not like he took it super early to be defensive about it.
No, he did take it on 11 though. Normally you take it on 12. I would assume that's an adjustment to deal with the possibility of a gas steal.
That seems like a fair assessment. Let's see where our Protoss player goes in from here. Or maybe just wanted to get in the base to make sure there's no...
He brought all the Protoss builds today.
He's playing to win. I appreciate that greatly. The Manor Pot, the suit... Oh, he's going for it real hard on this one. I appreciate this.
Zealot pressure? Question mark? But he got a gas, so no. Normally, you don't do that. Oh, he lets it finish, too. Oh, boy.
Well, I think he just wants to slow down the mineral income, maybe to get a few less Marines for...
He's sacrificed his core to build this, and he's also not building a Zealot, so...
Yeah, he's still not building the core either. This build does seem a little bit out of sorts. I'm a little confused by what he's doing here.
Yeah, okay, there's a core. 10... I believe... got the better of that exchange in terms of lost minerals.
I mean, it did buy the Terran the amount of time, like even ignoring the minerals, it bought Terran the time they need to get that factory up. They're going to get years before Dragoons really start massing up because of such a delayed core. So,
well, I think the idea behind the build is to get a goon up on the high ground and punish the reverse ramp, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, but you can just do that with the 10-15 and not even do the gas deal. It's completely unnecessary for that.
Well, I mean, you can 10-15 in Manor Pylon. You just have to actually build the things, and he wasn't. So, IDK.
We'll have to see what goes on here. We're still getting those couple Marines Azrael's been getting every time and getting that fast machine chop. So, I wonder if he's going to be doing Siege Expand again, which makes a lot less sense on this map given the inverted ramp.
Right. Although, considering his opponent's previous build, Siege Expand seems like a fine thing to do.
Just wants to make sure he gets out of the early game as safe as reasonably expected. Like, I actually think for Terran, a good build on this kind of map is just doing that, like, that you get the delay the gas, get that bunker up. Because with that
expand, it's by far the best, yeah. That's why I don't like that. That's one of the reasons cross-game frustrates me is there are builds that are just so much better because they're safe, even though normally they're risky.
Well, we do have spider mines instead of the seed mode this time. We're doing. It looks like we're going to be doing FD. Kept up his marine production. Protoss going
Strong
for three gateways, and still has no nexus. I don't even know if he's going to have like enough production
it's the same build as last time. Except he got the nexus, or he got the gateway before the robo. Normally he goes robo gate.
Well, the other, he didn't actually get the third gateway in game 2. He did stay on 2, and I think that might have helped his unit production a little bit to have, because remember he had the 4 zealots instead of the 3, because he did 2 rounds. But with the delayed goon production, because of how late the core was in comparison, I don't think he's going to have enough goons to actually delay this, especially since he's not forward to kite them as they come. Like, he's going to wait till they get to the door, and it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, but if there's 5 goons... Oh, he's not producing. Never mind. If there were 5 goons on the high ground when that showed up, he'd just kill it. It doesn't... That's enough DPS from the high ground that it doesn't... You can't force it.
Well, we do have the Citadel going down, so looking like some kind of crazy DT follow-up. Which, I'm not sure about that on... But on 3 gateways, you're just delaying the tech so severely to do that. Like, a DT rush, like, is already hitting the opponent's base right now at 5 minutes, right?
Yep.
So, let's see how this goes.
Our player in question does not have detection or turrets or an eBay, despite the fact that, okay, so here we go. He doesn't have enough goons. He wasn't target firing. He's dead. GG.
Yeah, I don't think my optimism's going to save this one. Durandal taps out, but... maybe he was a little far
Finish
forward,
him.
but his opponent just walked up the ramp. Like, got
Yep.
that high ground advantage immediately negated. So,
Yeah.
so it looks like from our Terran player, Salt Mines even goes to 1-1 after tier 3 matches are done. So, I'm gonna update the score real quick on that one. Alright, so like I said, we did have a walkover for the other tier 3 match, which I know the People's Champion Somniac would have been in it, but he apparently had something better to do, so people can't root for him. Oh, we're going to be starting into our tier 2 matches, which I'm excited to see. First one's going to be Telvanni versus Raybat, Zerg versus Terran.
Nice.
The classic matchup. Like, you think Starcraft, you think ZVT. Everyone does.
I want to contest that, but I don't think I can.
I mean, it has those clear phases of action in the game. There's micro from both sides at various points. There's like threatening builds at both points. Like it's
super. No,
yeah,
that's
super fun.
I want to disagree and say that it's PvT, but modern PvT is weird now. Old PvT worked the same ish idea, but now it's all razor thin knife edge greed plays and yeah.
Alright, so we have Telvanni versus Cardio. That is Raybat on the Discord, just playing with a different alias, because that's what people love to do, is just make games as hard to cast as humanly possible. And we have Circuit Breakers to open up. That'll be the starting map for all our games. And cross positions again, which I like as Zerg. I want cross positions. That safety of knowing you can get to at least 3 bases without too much of a threat feels super good, man.
Yeah. I am. What do you call that? I am a fan.
You are a fan of getting bases, so you are a player of honor, not 9 pooling or any crazy stuff.
I mean, I do crazy stuff, but I'm a fan of getting bases as my crazy stuff.
Okay.
I like the quadruple expand in PvT. That's one of my favorite things to do.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Sounds insane, but if it works, it works.
It's so fantastic when you pull it off. Usually you die. It's a desperation play. But if Terran gets their 3rd base up, you just take 4 bases. And as long as Terran wasn't planning on this, like, isn't doing an anti-timing where they push at some weird time, and they don't scout the fact that you have 4 bases, you just win the game. It's just like, I have 45 gateways. Yeedle, I win.
Yeah, so
any good player will scout the fact that you've put nexuses literally all over the map and just crush you. But I don't play good players. I'm 1400 MMR.
Fair enough. So we did have a 12 hatch opening into pool and gas, standard stuff from the Zerg, but we have 2 barracks without a gas from the Terran, so doesn't look like they're going for that really early academy stim push. Maybe just wants to shove some Marines down Zerg's throat.
Yeah. Is this a thing? Can you do this? I don't think you can, right? Because Zerglings beat Marines without medics.
I think it's an option to do that, but maybe not if it was cross mods. If you're closer, this is definitely something I would say it makes more sense on, like if it was on cross game, where you're close up, you don't have to scout around or wait. You send enough stuff.
It makes sense on cross game except for the fastest possible expansion. I hate to break it to you, but that's literally all you can do on cross game.
Literally my ray of sunshine.
I am a joyous motherfucker.
No, the Zerg did get in and see the 2 barracks, so already starting that first creep colony in case there is some early pressure.
6 lings in a creep colony. Well, that held, and you have no command center. What is it with no expansion early pressure builds today?
Well,
I guess, actually, now that I'm thinking about this, when Stim and Marine Range are done, he will have this stupendous pile of Marines for that particular time.
So this is something I have been seeing a little bit more. I thought you got the gas a little earlier, but maybe you don't. He's going for the 2 barracks. He gets the stim, and then gets 2 medics, and then just marches across, and then it punishes the Zerg who skimped on static defense or was trying to take their 3rd base too aggressively. It didn't build lanes. It also hits right before 3-hatch Muta. So this is actually something I just thought it got the gas a little bit earlier, but I guess this time it isn't, or maybe I'm
Muta with no drones. So I don't know. I don't know what to do here.
I mean, 2-hatch Muta definitely could be dangerous though if you get enough Marines, because this is already going to be over that 1 control group mark once the medics finish. Has just a little bit more.
This will be a serious threat.
And he's actually adding on more barracks to follow.
Giant SCV cut makes it only a serious threat in the next 5 minutes. After that point, it stops being a threat at all.
Yeah, well, we already see these are adding on some creep colonies. Hasn't made them sunkens yet, but getting ready for that push to go forward. Because he saw 2 barracks and hasn't seen anything happen.
Just held. It's not going to work.
Well, he hasn't. Now he just started morphing the sunkens.
Yeah, as soon as you move out, you morph, and on cross spawns, that's enough time.
Now, I actually love this. This was cute from the Terrans. He only moved out with a couple Marines and held the medics and the other Marines back. So, feigning how strong this push is actually going to be, hoping the Zerg is under defended when he does move out.
It's excellent. I really approve of it, and it's sad that it's just going to get sandbagged by Sunkens, and that'll be that.
Well, I mean, he has 4 medics instead of 2, and if they go in first and start tanking the Sunkens, then the Zerg doesn't target fire into the Marines instead.
I'm sorry, he just built 2 more creep colonies.
They're not going to be Sunkens in time. Listen, optimism. We're gonna talk about how this build can work, not how Terran's already lost.
Terran's already lost.
I mean, so what if he goes forward?
He makes in fire bats. I begin to take that back, because if the fire bats clean the response lings, these are gonna get done in time. Yeah, no, not against 5 Sunkens. You just can't do it, I'm sorry.
Well, we do have the Marine range on the way. Like you said, if he makes some fire bats, that's usually meant to just defend the ramp so the backstab doesn't go through him. But this is definitely going to be a pretty scary force. We got a good amount of Sunkens versus 2 groups of stuff. Reinforcements getting caught up by the Lings a little bit, but Terran looks like... I'm actually not sure how bad of a spot they're in, because they didn't take the expansion, but Zerg's still on 2 base.
Yeah, it means they're dead. No, there's 6 sunken colonies. They have 2 control groups of Marines. The Mutas should be hatching any moment now, although there aren't quite so many of them as I'd like. And those Mutas will cross the map, and there's not even an engineering bay.
Well, the Terran moving forward to see if he can break these Sunkens, and let's see if he has enough stuff to do it. It looks like the Marines are falling very quickly.
No! No, he doesn't!
Alright, so... Alright, so Terran loses game 1, triangular aggressive play, and Zerg adequately defending.
I mean, that would have been devastating had it not been scouted.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think so. Something I did notice just at the post-game screen, the Terran had a very low APM compared to Zerg, so maybe just planning to do that kind of early aggressive build just because he doesn't want to get into that late game micromanaging all the medic marine.
I've made that call as an 88 APM player. I regularly avoid macro games because I know I'll lose. That's a respectable decision.
Yeah, I think that's completely reasonable. We're going into game 2 on whiteout. Let's see.
This I'm excited for. These are always fun.
We'll see. So, like, how can you be so optimistic that whiteout's gonna be a fun game when you're not optimistic about anything else? You're just like I'm like,
I love these games. No. As soon as someone's dead, it's fantastic, right? I don't have a problem with someone being dead and the skill shown. Some of the most impressive things in Starcraft's history have been. I'm confused now.
I think they maybe talked a little bit between the games, saying that having 6 Sunkens was lucky. That's what I'm guessing. It's like, you lucked into building a bunch of static defense. That's not how StarCraft works. We'll have to see. So we'll see how this game goes. 3-player map, so still can be aggressive. I think it would be a little easier to do that kind of 2-racks play on this map compared to Circuit Breakers if you want to try that again. Telvanni, not upset or not in a good mood about how this match is going. If I was in the match, I would not be saying this stuff. After the match, that's when you rant away and go for it, but in the middle of the match when you just did something really crazy and it didn't work and you tell your opponent, I can't beat you in a normal game, you're just holding up that red cheese flag.
I'm confused, but I believe our Terran friend has psyched himself into a bad mental position, it seems like. Wouldn't you say?
I think the way I'm reading the situation is the Terran, this is not the first time these two players have played, and the Terran knows skill-wise in an even game he's not going to win. So he tried a trick, and the opponent scouted it and defended it adequately, and he's just hoping for a lucky break that is unlikely to happen, it seems.
Okay, so yeah, okay. Well, he might get his lucky break depending on whether he blocks the ramp or not. This drone scout's going to be a while.
Yeah, the Overlord going down, so it'll be able to work its way in. But if it tries to scout through the Marine, snipe it down, I'll give him a little bit of supply block. Might give him that edge he needs to get some stuff done.
These barracks positionings are whack. I think he's trying to avoid being seen by the Overlord.
Yeah, definitely seeming that way, that he is looking for a gimmick to steal the game rather than trying to win it straight up. But we'll have to see if it works. I
wouldn't call it stealing, and I also wouldn't call it not winning straight up. Because, like I said, playing non-standard is fantastic, and there's no reason why not.
I'm not saying these as disparaging comments. I'm just saying that it seems like he is trying to be like, I need every little edge I can get. What little cute stuff can I do?
The gas is on time this time. This should be interesting. Should be a lot more threatening.
Zerg did just go for that early hatchery into early pool, doing that standard opening, the 10, 11, 12, or 12, 11, 10. So should have lengths if he wants them, be able to scout any kind of move out. Now it didn't get up, but this might even just be an indication of the fact that there's 3 Marines there instead of 2.
Yep. That will tip him off that there's 2 barracks.
Yeah. And we got the gas on the way for the Terran, so I'm thinking it's going to be that same kind of thing. 2 racks, getting that early stem, going for... Yep. I think
actually that might have been he might have been concerned about vultures. Now that I'm thinking about that.
You think there would be vultures if you made this many Marines as well?
It's possible. And also, the Goliath build is so popular right now that you're allowed to just go for it. But yeah, our Terran friend is, I think, dead.
Well, he's moving forward and gets a little bit of an advantage because of how he's moving through these little tree area. There isn't as many lings on the map, but 2 Sunken's already basically done. Evo Chamber to block the SimCity a little bit to make it even harder to break through. Definitely, not going to be looking super good. Stim on the way with some medics being built, but this is looking like it might be a repeat of the game 1, just with a little bit less Sunkens. I don't know if
a few less Sunkens, yeah. That does look about right to me. 4 medics and 8 Marines. Yeah, this should be over momentarily. Oh, he cancels. Maybe not.
It cancels one of the Evos. That's interesting. I wouldn't even want to help wall off that area. Maybe it was going to restrict the unit movement too much. I'm not really sure why you'd move that one over. But
I'm quite curious. I think 3 Sunkens hold this? I don't actually know.
He looks like he might be able to get this Overlord. The Overlord does run the correct direction, not running down to the other group of Marines. We do have some lings moving through the trees, so they might be able to do a backstab or fight them in the trees where the Marines are less effective.
Yeah.
Looking like he is setting up for that little bit of a backstab counterattack whenever the Terran moves out. And all he has to do is have enough Sunkens.
Right now, the Terran will see him.
Well, he's not going to see the lanes. He's going to just miss them. So lanes moving forward, going to catch the reinforcements instead if he wants to engage it. And Terran should have seen the Lings. Turns around, so it's delaying the push.
Ooh, that hurts. Lings just got wrecked. But unfortunately, he's delayed his attack long enough that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we got 2 more creeps on the way. 3 Sunkens complete, moving up to 5 shortly, and like we saw the first game.
Before these new Sunkens finish an attack, he might possibly pull it off, but that Sunken's halfway done. So his window of opportunity is now closed.
Well, I think Terran's going to try again anyways. Try to work a little bit of magic. Builds the Evo Chambers to block off a little bit here. Marie's actually shooting the Evo Chambers a little bit, wasting extra time.
GG.
Yeah, this is a rough one.
Ouch.
Yeah, not so great. I'm actually surprised if Terran was going to try to be this all-in with the attacks. Why didn't he just bring some SCVs too to bring his own little portable wall for the Marines to stop the Lings at least?
I don't see. The thing is, this isn't a build. This isn't a thing you can do because Zerg just sees it and flips you off and you die. I feel like.
Well, so I do see this kind of play a little bit, and a BG Telvanni clearly a little frustrated. Unfortunate, but you know what? It happens to the best of us. So that'd be Telvanni losing to Raybat. Salt Mines takes another point and goes up 2-1 on the series so far.
Okay. I mean, if Zerg misidentified like a 2-port Wraith or something gas heavy instead, then there's theoretical possibilities of success. But if there's, I would say, 2 creep colonies finished at the natural by the time you move out, you should not ever win, right?
Probably. So you're saying this isn't a real build. I don't know how real it is, but I have seen something like this a good amount. The thing I see though is it's 2 racks, you don't get the third. You build up for that first stim push with 2 Marines or 2 medics and like a handful of Marines, less than a control group. And then if you see them building a bunch of Sunkens, you just pull back and expand. So it does threaten it forward. It's not super all in like this though. He's just committing a little too hard.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. That's that stim rush. Who did that? Oh gosh, it was on Neo Ground Zero. KSL Scan? Maybe?
Scan hasn't played in a KSL unless you're talking about a qualifier.
I watched the qualifier, so I don't actually know.
Alright, so we got our next series going on. We got NCX versus Snail, PVZ, and Snail saying something a little bit fun that's interesting. I don't know what their pregame lobby chat was about.
There must have been some pregame joke.
I generally like so much when you watch these games, and the players are bantering and having a little bit of fun with it, or not just being super serious. I'm trying to qualify for ASL.
I've had the pleasure of casting Doc several times. I think that's fantastic, and I love it.
I don't think I've ever actually casted one of his games.
He talks quite a bit.
That's not surprising. There's been a couple people I've seen that have been pretty good talkers, and it makes things fun, especially when something weird happens and they start just running off.
Yeah.
So unsurprisingly,
who was it? I distinctly remember somebody took apart their build for the other guy. The other guy got frustrated by the build. It was PvP, and they just like sat down in the game chat and explained the build, and we just had to sit there and cast them explaining how the build worked. It was a joy. That was a good one. Gateway first.
And Gateway fast expand, definitely a style that can work, but it's definitely hard. You gotta be very careful about where you put your zealots and what you get done with them. But I love this build if you can do it properly.
I've seen Snail pull this off in the past, so it is a build he knows.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, the Wolf already indicates he has a decent idea, leaving that gap for the Forge to fill in later. Now, the one thing I do see with this kind of build from a lot of players, which I don't think is right at all, they get the Gateway and they get the Forge really quickly instead of using the Zealots to defend. And it's kind of negating the whole point of the build if you're playing it like that.
Yeah. I learned very briefly when I thought I was good at this game at about like 1300 MMR, because everyone has that moment where you think you're good at the game. I learned Mini's core before Forge build, and if you pull that off, my man, it's so good. It's ridiculous.
Well, so Snail was a little late on that starting that first Zealot. I saw his minerals get up to 200 before he started it, so definitely can't afford that on this kind of build. And has to get the Forge just to start the wall, but again, not what you want to do. It's Zealots, you get the Nexus Forge later.
Or Probe killed the drone. That's good.
Yeah, but he sees 4 Lings being made. At least it's not the 6th. Well, maybe he'll see the other ones. It does confirm 6 on the way. There's 1 Zealot on the middle of the map that will easily get picked off here. Forge is going to be finished. Now he's going to be forcing the cans for Nexus. This build is falling apart very quickly for our Protoss player.
Yeah, it's the late Zealot.
And look, he even got the gas instead, instead of getting a Nexus too. So maybe he's feigning the expansion, has no intention of taking a second base.
The cannon's not going to be... Oh, the Zealot's out. Never mind, it will.
Yeah, well, the Ling's going to be able to run through. Zealot not blocking it off. Oh, no, not like this. Ling's going to be able to shut down this cannon. I think it does get canceled, though. I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, it doesn't really... 2 Zealots. Hey!
And we got 2 Zealots. Pulled plenty of probes to make sure you defend it. We got more Lings on the way, but with these Zealots...
There's a hatchery in his base.
I love this game. This game's great.
There's a hatchery in his base.
And
he can't do anything about it because he has to use the Zealots to defend. And so I think he's dead.
So we do have a cannon going down in the... Yeah, we have the cannon going down in the main. Still haven't started a Cyber Core yet or a Nexus. And he's going to lose all the power to that front gateway, so unit production is going to get cut off. I don't know how Protoss gets out of this game. Now, the Zealot did find the hatchery, but it ain't going to kill it in time at all. But these Lings are going to shut down that pylon. Zealot was nearing completion, won't be able to finish. I don't know. I got nothing on this one. Even my optimism is not going to save this one.
Well, I mean, it's PvZ. There's rules. If the Lings get the first cannon, the game is over. That's just how it works.
I think, when I see stuff like this, I just really want to ask the players, why didn't you just do Forge Expand? Why are you getting the Gateway and then also Forges and all this weird stuff?
Gateway Expand is really fun, though. It's a great build.
Yeah, but you don't get a Forge until after the Nexus. You just build Zealots, and Zealots keep you alive because you attack them and force them to defend. Like, it's like when you get Gateway...
I'm not arguing with you about that. I'm just saying don't discourage people from trying Gate. It's just...
Well, if they try and do Gateway Forge, it's not going to work, and they'll be like, wow, this build's dumb, and not play it anymore. So they gotta do it the way it's meant to be done.
I think he might have overcommitted. Yeah, he doesn't have an absurd wins at all.
Yeah.
But he does have the opportunity to sunken push his enemy. So, I feel like that... Yeah, there it is. Sunken push. Nice.
Now, so do you agree, like... Obviously, clearly, big damage has been done. Are you in agreement that Zerg should keep attacking here? He hasn't put a single drone at his natural. He's really committing that he has to win the game here.
How do I say this? If he hadn't built the hatchery, he could have pulled back and just denied the second. He built a hatchery. He's committed. There's no negotiation here. It's do or die.
Anytime you see a proxy hatchery, there is someone at 400 MMR losing their mind, like, oh my god, I could do it too.
I mean, the greatest strategy in the history of Starcraft came out of a proxy hatchery, so...
Which one's that?
Have you seen that game?
If you're thinking...
Sure
I saw Action...
Splash? Action, there it is, yeah,
it's Action on Transistor, right?
Yep, and he builds the proxy hatch and gets the Nidus.
Yeah, that game was...
block. Like a really good pro block.
Yeah, they're really committing hard on this one. I don't know about that.
I mean, if he was just sunken pushing... Sunken's outrage cannons, for reference, everybody. So you can literally sunken push Protoss to death here.
I thought Sunkens only do that at like weird particular angles, not like across the board. I thought they both have 7, but it's like a 7 versus 7.5 or something.
Let me put it this way: he could build a Sunken in range of the the Nexus without building, without taking fire from a cannon in this particular position.
Absolutely.
I thought that Sunken's had 8 range. I'm apparently wrong about that.
I'm pretty sure all static defense has the same or very similar. I don't think there's one with an actual straight range advantage, but I could be wrong. That's one of those things I remember reading in like the Primo strategy guide 2 decades ago, and I don't even know if that was even printed correctly. So
that's fair.
That would be like a fun moment as like,
wait,
I thought this
does not have vision? No, he has vision. Never mind. I just don't know how range works.
Yeah.
Well, like, I don't. Protoss is never getting out of Protoss base. Zergling's Intel Adrenal upgrade and a Defiler are never going to kill this. He just needs to build like 4 Hydralisks, but he also has no drones, so.
Yeah.
Okay, there's the Sunken push that'll kill the Nexus. Good. There we go.
I mean, definitely not a bad way to really keep the Sunkens back so the Sunkens defend the ones being built. But I just don't know about all of this. This game's awesome in a way that's hard to understand if either player could have done something better.
I mean, this is the do or die moment. If he can kill... No, he can't.
No.
That's GG. Yeah, Nexus is in range.
Yeah, I think if he, that game's awesome. I think if he did get that core, because he did get the gas, but then just never built the core. If he built the core and maybe got a Dragoon or something up, or then
you build a Corsair because he doesn't have Hydras or an economy to build them.
There's definitely a whole lot in that game could have gone a little different, but I think Pro just got flustered because
he could have done Gateway Expand correctly. That's an option.
The amount of times I've seen it done correctly versus done with Gateway Forge, I just want to be super safe build. It's I'm curious if people know what they're supposed to be doing with Gateway Expand when they do it most of the time.
It's probably, I'll look after this cast, but I bet the build's wrong on Team Liquid. That happens fairly regularly.
Well, that is very, very likely. The Gateway Expand on Team Liquid. I don't even know if there is an article for it. That might be from back in like 2005, like not like the modern version, like the really old ass version, where it's like
the one where you build 2 gateways in your main and rally zealots until either they die or you can build an Nexus with the extra probe money you've been making.
I'm thinking maybe something like that, but we'll see. Zerg getting fortunate with that first Overlord. He's going to be going in the correct direction, so you'll be able to see what kind of expansion opening the Pro starts with if he does the same kind of thing again.
I'm sincerely hoping for like 2 gates in the main into Reaver. I think that would be fantastic. These players have both showed they're willing to get rather creative.
But the problem is no one but Snow can execute that build. I know what game you're thinking of. No one but Snow is ever going to execute that build again.
Actually, I was thinking of a Bronith game. And he does this on a fairly regular basis.
I mean, did you see the one with Snow against Soulkeep?
Yeah, we've all seen the one with Snow.
I just got to make sure.
I'm pretty sure Bronith did that build first.
I mean, there's going to be one person watching this cast that goes, "What Snow game?" And then it's like Christmas came early for them when they watch it.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the Whiteout game with Snow and the Reavers and the 1 base, you just have to go watch that game. That's Snow going, I don't feel like playing PvZ. Let's play PvT. You play T.
I think that's just Snow, because he even did it recently. I think he's just embraced. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna make my personal brand. I'm the Reaver guy. All the Reavers, all the time, every matchup.
I mean, well, it's literally his brand. Like he needs it for his monetary brand. Okay, late gateway first. I don't know how to handle that.
I think he just moved the probe out a little.
You must build your big gate on 10. If you don't, you won't successfully.
And he's got to make sure he keeps his probe alive. He needs to see how many lanes get made, if it's 4 or 6 or what they're going for. The Overlord gets to the natural, sees the gateway, and I'm expecting 6 lanes to pressure this build.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there are those 6 lings on the way, hatchery being made as well, but with the gateway being a little bit late, it's going to be 1 zealot versus 6 lings for quite a while. I'm going to need to very early pull probes to make sure that he can actually defend this.
For reference, guys, there is a wall in that works on this map. It's worth learning. Probe does not go down.
And we're doing the gateway forge thing again. If I was ever a Zerg player, I would think...
Well, I mean, if you mess up your gateway timing this badly, then you have to do the gateway forge thing. Because if he sends the zealot now, he's just dead.
Possibly. But I don't even wonder is it just worth it maybe just to go 2-gate if you fuck it up early on.
That is the correct thing. Mong did that in the ASL qualifiers.
I thought Mong was a Terran player.
Sorry, I am Mang.
Ah, okay.
The Protoss player who everyone calls Mong, anyway.
Lynx, take out this first 2 zealots, have plenty left over, and just march right.
Not finish because zealots are because Zerglings are the best unit in the game by far. GG. He brought a drone. I don't know how to handle that, but if there's a hatchery that gets built,
he has 600 minerals. I think he wants to do the hatchery again. Oh man, this dude trying the style.
Are we doing this again?
Yo, he's doing it again.
Are we doing this again?
Alright, so we have the early canning being made in the main. Hasn't learned.
Sunken Bush's ass. Oh god, this is such a bad game. Oh, I hate Brood War.
You hate Brood War, huh?
I despise it.
This is the guy who said, what, not 30 minutes ago? I love unconventional strategies. But it's so important for people to do unconventional strategies. I mean, it won him the first game. He's in a good spot this game.
But it's entirely allowed to just win the game normally from this point. Like, you don't have to build a proxy hatchery to win. And just build a Hydralisk Den and win. That's entirely allowed.
I mean, at this point, I think you might have to, because he's floating so many minerals, still hasn't started an extractor, not droning up his natural. He's doing very an all-in build again.
He can just keep building Zerglings out of his main and win. That's all that literally needs to happen, and the game will be over.
Probably. I actually don't know what this drone's doing near the 12 o'clock. If he's trying to take a 3rd base.
I mean, he's in the point of his build order. You take a 3rd base at around 16 supply. That's the correct... It is!
I don't think that quite works when it happens like this, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna lose my drones and lings until I get back to 16 supply. So,
listen, build orders work how you want them to work. That's the real lesson of Starcraft.
Well, NCX swagging out a little bit and gets a win for his team, and looks like BS tying it up 2-2. There's your unorthodox. You want your unorthodox? This is what you
like every once in a while in great games. What were you saying? Sorry.
I was saying you want unorthodox play. You're getting it now. This is your fault. You wished this evil on us.
I don't think it's evil. I think it's fantastic. I'm frustrated by how inefficient and bad it is.
Well, we're going into game 3. I think it's a TVP this time, so definitely still.
This is a game 3. Hang on.
Match
3. Yeah, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I counted 2 times the guy died to Zerglings in his main.
No. Match 3. My apologies.
Ooh, Borisu, nice, and Chaos.
So I've seen a little bit of Borisu, but you had a nice reaction. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Borisu?
Oh, I played against him in RSL, so I did player research for a best of 5 against Borisu. So, I'm familiar thoroughly.
Well, give us that insight. What do you think Borisu is leaning towards doing?
Okay, well, I believe this is. See, the thing is, when I researched him, it was like, oh, he's going to 2-fact you. Cool, great. Learn to defend 2-fact. Great, you're done.
Okay.
Which, in fact, was the entirety of my RSL experience. I played 3 people in a row. They all 2-facted me, and the last one finally was good enough at 2-fact I died. But he is also entirely capable of playing like normal macro games. He's a FFA player, so he's happy to do really weird, like battle cruisers, for example, have happened. in PvT.
I feel like if I was his coach, I'd be angry.
You'd be what?
If like I was his coach for CPL and he was doing crap like battle cruisers, I might be a little frustrated with him.
Yeah. No, I don't know if that's actually ever happened in a CPL match. I knew he did it to people in 1v1s.
Yeah. So my experience with Borisu, I think I've casted TBT, which is whatever, but no, it's not relevant because he did one series that was a PVT, and it had all 3 games in the replay folder. I'm like, oh cool, we're gonna do this. They misnumbered them as they ordered, and they also played the wrong maps. So I couldn't tell if they were misnumbered. I'm like, oh, they played the wrong maps, whatever. And I go through an order, and the game 2 was actually their game 3 they played just for giggles because the match was already over 2-0, and Borisu went Marine Medic against Protoss. So now my reputation of him is just he does weird-ass shit.
He's entirely capable of literally anything he wants to do because he's played enough FFA that he has the, like, background mechanical skill to just like, hey, we're gonna do this now, woohoo! If he gets into a bad position, you can't really be held responsible for what's about to happen.
That's fair. Now we do see from Borisu, his barracks is done. Still hasn't started gas, so maybe doing a gas expand that would be really good on this map. I like that build a lot.
Everybody likes that build a lot. It's just whether or not you can survive it.
Yeah.
Ooh, command center, go, my boy. Nice.
Yeah, looking like he has a plan and is lining it up pretty good.
Center. There we go.
There we go.
Nice.
Now let's see what we're getting from the Protoss player. It's always like a little difficult to try.
Range first. That's good for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always just a little difficult to jazz up the opening for a Protoss player because it's always the same like 7 buildings in order. Like there's no deviation until like now.
Well, hey, deviation.
Yep. So he's getting the second
that
gateway.
Was a gate before a goon. I don't know. That's a thing that happened. I don't.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Okay.
It's
versus gasless expand.
I don't think it will because he's gonna have a lower number of goons. He still hasn't started a goon yet. He's getting
your
2.
Number of goons don't matter until you get range. So having range first is better.
So
I don't.
Here's the thing that I'm noticing.
I don't know when that becomes. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right actually that it would have been better to just make 2 goons in the time it took to make that gateway. Yeah.
Like, I'm actually really intrigued by this build because he made the 2 gateways just to have the production ready and then went straight Nexus. So he just pegged his opponent completely. You are not going to attack me early. You are definitely not doing 2 factory. All this like weird stuff. So this is a much more economical 2 gate that I'm ever used to seeing. But
it
still
could be a direct reaction to Borisu. Hey, we know you 2-fact. We know you bio build occasionally. Do something weird and I'll fucking 2-gate your ass, and then just go into Nexus. It's not a good build, but it does address all of the major concerns. As this is tier 2 still, so you could feel not mechanically confident, and I mean, okay, it's not terrible.
Now, is there something indicated from the Terran here getting the second gas at the natural so quickly?
If I were to scout that blindly, I would assume Starport, and just put some goons in my main. The other option is double armory before second factory, but he hasn't done that either.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what this is. Maybe just catching up to get the factory count up.
He's only got 1 in there, so he probably accidentally built it, or just built it a little fast.
Not 100% sure. Starting to get a little harassment on the bunker. Not a lot of units here though, so when that first tank pops...
literally didn't get there until after range was done, so you were right, that was just bad.
Yeah, he would have had a couple more goons. I think he would even have more goons if he just stayed on 1 gate and constantly produced.
I would agree.
Now, if he gets all 4 harassing this, he might be able to actually take down this bunker. He hasn't pulled enough SCVs to actually repair this in time, and that first tank is still a little bit away from finishing.
Is Borisu gonna notice?
It's slowly going down, but seems okay. Adds 1 more. And we do have that 3rd Nexus going down from the Protoss very quickly as well. skipping the tech to get these extra bases up. So this is what I was kind of talking about.
That's because he did the 2-gate and he's trying to catch up, and it's a good call.
Yeah, that's what I was saying with the earlier games, that you can do this.
You go for a tank snipe, and that'd be entirely reasonable.
Not after Siege.
Mode, so never mind, run away.
Well, take a little bit of damage. Doesn't lose one of the goons, but does take some permanent damage. But considering he has that
damage. Well, sorry, that was a little. Sorry.
Well, he does get that third base up, and it has the pressure on his opponent. With just tanks to defend, he should be able to establish the third base without too bad of an issue. And he did take the third, not at the mineral, but at the gas base.
There's that starport I was talking about, starport armory. And he's producing vultures now, so that's interesting because you can starport armory and stay on tanks if you have 3 in gas.
Well, I think he wants to do a vulture drop since he's getting both vulture upgrades immediately and getting the starport for it. Which I will tell you, if there's one thing I've lost more games to than anything else, it is vulture drops in my main. They are so fast and so impossible to kill, especially if you have all the goons forward like this and there's nothing at home to defend it. They will kill every single probe you've ever made in your life.
Yep, it's bad. I go fast observers, so I don't have this problem ever. But yeah.
Well, I mean, fast observers don't stop the speed vultures in your base.
How do I put this? I go fast observers, so by the time they're making speed vultures, especially by the time they have a dropship, I have an observer in their base, so I know it's coming and can put units up.
That seems reasonable.
But you're absolutely right that vulture drops are the bane of Protoss's existence, and the reason Sharp is a god is because he beats Protosses with nothing but vulture drops, and it's fantastic.
Well, he does that in TVT as well. That's just his style to be annoying as hell. Somehow this one vulture actually got passed out and getting some mines out and getting a little scout going off. He sees that third base. That is really good for the Terran player. And he's gonna see that. Oh, that was fantastic. Best 75 minerals he maybe spent in this month. He had so much knowledge.
He's building more vultures, so it's just vultures are good. You can't say it's the best 75 minerals.
Well, I mean that particular one got so much done.
That's true. He's staying on tanks, but he is building a dropship, so I don't know what to do about that. I mean, he could do a tank drop. That's an option. The observer's there now, so I don't.
Yeah, that's not quite.
It's going across the map.
Yeah, a tank drop doesn't really like a vulture drop makes so much more sense to me because it's not like something like a lost temple or something where it's a good ridge for a tank drop.
Oh well, the point of a tank drop is you drop them, they don't see it, you siege, and then they pull the probes and you blow the probes away, and then you get to run away. It's a free thing as opposed to losing some vultures, and it's a lot more risky.
Yeah. Now, is there like a high ground you can drop tanks near that third base outside this outer ring? Is there enough room to put them?
You can stick them literally just on the edge of the front and fly the dropship in to get vision and shoot. Remember, tanks shoot slightly more than one screen's distance, so...
Yeah. Well, we do have a Stargate on the way for the Protoss player, and we have Temple Archive, so we should be able to start for that 3-base Arbiter that you see so commonly on this map. And the Arbiter Tribunal goes down right after it finishes.
I don't understand why people do 3-base Arbiter on this map. Why is...
Because it's super easy to get 3 reasonably easily defendable bases, and they all have gas.
Yeah, but you could have 6 bases.
You're the worst kind of person. The worst kind of person.
I mean, he could take 3 more Nexuses right now and just not have those 3 gateways, and he'd probably be fine.
Now, if we do look in the Terran base out of the south, he built more than 1 dropship, so there might be some really big, powerful move from Terran soon.
I'm looking forward to, like, 2 Goliaths and 3 tanks dropping into the main and just sieging the ramp and just, oh, that'd be fantastic. I don't know what to do about that fact, honestly. I've never seen that in ever.
I've seen that kind of unit drop being dropped, but it usually goes behind the mineral line. because that's so hard to approach it.
No, I know. Just the double dropship doesn't happen very often at all.
Yeah. Now we do have the +1 weapon nearing completion with these.
Fly into a ball of goons. Pretty much no matter where he goes, unless he goes straight up.
I mean, along the bottom edge, he isn't gonna get seen by anything. Like the goons will not see that in time.
Oh, poor Chaos.
Chaos barely gets a glimpse of it, but not enough to shoot it down. So we'll have to see if he notices before it gets in his main.
Saw it on the map. Yeah, there's no reaction.
Protoss taking their 4th base up the top, but they're gonna have to survive this drop.
Oh, he built goons. He might do better. Pull the goons, see the things. Yes, good.
Reaction reasonably quick to pull most of the probes away. Gonna lose some, and some of the mines being placed outside the gateway, so let's see if they connect to do some decent damage.
I mean, he's just clearing it with zealots, which I empathize with on a spiritual level, honestly. Just like, screw it, send the zealots. My SimCity isn't good enough.
But he did save a good amount of the probes. The drop did some damage, but not as much as it could have been. Good reaction from Pure Chaos.
Yeah, well, I mean, for 2 dropships, it becomes definitely not worth it. I'm waiting for this 2nd dropship to get used. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm actually genuinely concerned for Borisu. He's doing little cute stuff here and there, but he's about to be supply blocked, floating a ton of money but not a lot of gas. Doesn't have anywhere near a 3rd base being established, and is down a tremendous amount of supply. I'm curious how he's actually going to establish his 3rd base, because I don't see him breaking out anytime
soon. This is 2 base 2-1 with 5 factories.
But it feels like it's going so slowly. Like, Arbiters are going to break this open before it's ready to fight back.
He will only have 1 Arbiter barely done when the push comes out.
Well, he has 1 Arbiter already done right now.
Where? Did I miss that?
The middle of the map.
Yeah, I did. Never mind. So in that case, he'll have 2 Arbiters with nearly full energy on 1 of them.
Yeah, definitely going to be a difficult situation, especially if he recalls and forces them into...
And he builds a 3rd command center, proving that he either has no idea what his build is, or has changed his mind about what he's doing, possibly. Also, guys, you can't... This factory formation doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't do that.
Well, I see 1 tank looking pretty trapped.
Yeah, and not only that, it just doesn't... Units don't flow around multiple machine shops next to each other well, at all.
Yeah. Well, he actually isn't even setting rallies on some of these. They're just staying by the factories. Don't know if that's to keep them near the dropships or just a missed rally point on one of his buildings.
I have no idea. He's beginning to extend down. He's building another engineering bay? Why not just supply depots? Oh. Anyhow, he's beginning to extend down, and it looks like Protoss having 5 bases up is comfortable letting him have a 3rd. He just won't ever get that 4th that is the important bit of this whole operation.
Especially since the 3rd is a mineral only, not critical to have to break that one right away. Making sure he doesn't get that 6 o'clock, much more important.
The Zealots aren't here, so these goons will have to back up. And he gets some turrets down. He's got this engineering bay, which he lets finish for some godforsaken reason.
Maybe he just wants to float it over for extra vision for the siege tanks. I have no idea.
Yeah, maybe.
But we already see Pure Chaos setting up that 5th base. It's not even done yet, but already getting that extra gateway cluster. Since he's nearing max, just getting his macro set up for that replenish after the first big fight.
I mean, he's still only on 13 gateways, which is really not many, not enough for real play at this point.
Yeah, you could definitely add more.
As the expansion guy, I know exactly how many gateways you need, and it's more!
Well, looking like he's going to push into this upper area. Lots of speed zealots.
That is... If Borisu was at all set up for this, he would be dead, but his entire army is trapped in his main. So, instead, Protoss has just won the game calmly and easily. GG.
Yeah. Now, we do have a stasis at the front. It only hits 1 tank, but since Borisu is so far down in production and unit count, Pure Chaos could probably almost A-move and take it out, but he's going to sell for taking the 3rd, not sacrificing a bunch of units in a silly way.
I mean, he could stasis like 11 tanks in one go. Oh, that was a good EMP.
That was definitely a pretty good EMP. Now we see his tanks just being sieged now. Dragoon's already enraged to fight this off. As long as he goes for attacks, it should be able to wipe this out without any issue.
I mean, tanks are good.
Tanks are definitely
Not that good, but they're good. If he sieges the ones up on the high ground, he'll live. Maybe reinforcement wave comes in. IDK family. Yeah, okay. Chaos is going to back up. Borisu, this is the point where you look at your base, you look at the pile of tanks, and
pauses instead. Interesting.
That works. This is the worst feeling. 5+ bases versus a 2-base Terran who's about to mine out. You're just like, come on, bro, die.
Yeah, it's definitely a little frustrating when you're like, the way I lose is by trying to end this game fast. So I'm gonna stay slow, but you know what? If we could just move on, we can move on to the next game. I can play more. I don't have to sit around for the next 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
But
this is when I get up to 45 gateways and then just rally zealots at them until they give up. It's not a good way to play. It's not the correct way to play. But if you have 7 bases, you can literally rally zealots faster than siege tanks can kill them. Might as well.
We see Fear reestablishing that high ground outside the third. Boris is not going to be able to take that anytime soon. It doesn't seem like he's building a command center to try it anyway. In fact, actually having to rebuild a barracks, I believe, to add more factories.
Or 3-2, and he'll try and make a push then. But unfortunately, he's under 100 supply, and there's a fully maxed Protoss army coming.
Yeah.
Go home.
Yeah, I think that might be Boris's only chance back in this game to wait for the upgrades, but he is definitely not going to get the chance. Protoss keeps moving forward, should be able to shut down this natural if nothing else. But Zealots are just going to be able to run right on in.
He can go up on the high ground.
Yeah, even with the mischance, these goons are going to be able to fight off these tanks without too much issue. Looks like we had one decent EMP, but not quite enough. And look at these siege tanks stuck in the factory so Zealots can't get to them. That's a big brain play.
Truly, but I think the goons land. Like, yeah.
There
we go.
Yeah, Borisu getting out on that one. Fear looked like he was in control from second 1 on that game.
Oof. Oof. Ouch. That hurts.
That hurts?
64 APM on Borisu.
Oh.
I know that feeling where you come out of a game going, oh, I played terribly, and then you look up at the score screen and you went, oh, I played terribly.
That happens to everybody.
Yeah, it does.
The worst feeling for me is when you think you've been killing it, like you've been really crushing, playing super good, and then you look at the APM, it's low, and you're like, oh shit. I thought I was really grooving on this one.
No, I've had games where I've legitimately hit everything on my build with 60 APM, and those just feel amazing. And when you kill them with 60 APM and they've got like 340 in the score screen, you just it's so good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with that. It's, like, although it does, I don't know if you play, but that's something like I had to deal with when I play tennis. You play someone that's like 50 years old, they can't even run, but you can't beat them. Like, they have so little APM, but they're just gonna crush you because they have so much game knowledge.
Yeah.
It feels so bad when you're like, but I'm so fast. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No. Oh gosh, I don't have that experience, but I played speed chess versus a grandmaster player, and that one just sucked. That was just painful the whole time.
I love watching those videos of like a grandmaster player like going into New York and playing on the streets to get the people that like cheat and stuff, but they beat them anyway. Those are so funny for me to watch.
Huh? I've never run into that. That's a funny idea.
Yeah, they cheat and they just let them do it because it doesn't matter. It's really funny. Now we're gonna see if these guys do different builds this game. A little less macro focus on this map compared to Circuit Breakers, so I'm expecting to see one of these players mix it up with something different. I don't want to see that 2-gate with no units into Nexus thing again. That seems like it might be dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, how do I put this?
Bluntly, you've been doing it all night.
Chaos is good enough that gas before barracks.
Okay. So what does that indicate? Something crazy? That's gonna be like Starport Rush. It's not a thing at all. It's just never a thing.
No, because the barracks takes long enough that I mean, he'll have like a 15-14 factory.
But like it doesn't help you get like a really early 2-fact. They might be good for like proxy vultures or I don't know. I'm really reaching on this one.
3 in gas right now. He might have enough to fake it.
Well, we see the SUV getting to the base of the pros. We're gonna be able to scout.
I genuinely don't know.
We're gonna see if there's some kind of weirdness going on.
Absolutely no weirdness. Except for this gas thing. Okay, he's gonna go for a factory now.
Yeah.
And it's on 14, so like I said, really fast. Although that's actually just because he's not building SCVs, not because he's
I'm actually really confused. Like, Borisu didn't keep his SCV in the base, scouted around a little bit, and just left with nothing attacking it. And Fear Chaos deciding maybe gonna do something weird. See that pylon in the corner? Maybe Proxy Robo or I don't know what is happening.
I would Proxy Robo too if this guy was going for a 1 Marine, no factory expansion with gas.
Where's that Proxy Robo?
I legitimately have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, well, so there's the first factory, definitely delayed. Still mining all the gas in the world, but setting up a bunker for an expansion. Borisu, I don't know this game. Like the other game, I understood.
No offense.
Damn, like, shade.
Well, no, Borisu and I know each other and like each other. Well, no is probably a strong word, but we don't. There's no beef here. I'm not trying to be super rude, but like, you don't want to be in tier 2 if you're not tier 2. I know from experience. I had to drag myself out of being not tier 2 when I realized that I was in fact in tier 2. But like, I guess Chaos is going for 28 Nexus, so that makes this 2-fact with a bunker.
Well, Chaos is going for Proxy Reaver.
Okay. That makes everything make a little bit more sense, but not really. It's a 2-fact hidden, but there's the Proxy Reaver to answer it, so that should just kill him.
Yeah, this could definitely do some very substantial damage. We're actually going for an extra machine shop really fast, so maybe just gonna build a crap ton of tanks. I'm hoping for some.
It's the tank push thing where he gets siege and does. There's 4 tanks in the final push.
Well, we do have that Reaver in production. Some goons moving forward. Range very delayed, but on the way now because of this Proxy Robo. So let's see what's going on. Actually, the goon's going off over to the Robo. Maybe make sure it stays safe, or maybe going to be elevated in with the shuttle.
Unscouted. Yep. But he should just die as soon as this Reaver gets here, because
well, he's
like he said, he never checked the Nexus, and this is something that you kind of have to do, is check that there is in fact a Nexus for your 2-fact to go kill, because the 2-fact can't get up the ramp. So
yeah, we even have that little elevator move with the Dragoon, so there's a little backup for the Reaver. So I'm waiting for that first Reaver shot. It's gonna be glorious.
Depends on if he goes after the tanks, which is what he should do.
Well, he's flying right to the mineral line, and oh no, SV still not pulled. Stuff coming back, but gonna be able to get out. There's no anti-air to shut down the shuttle, so that Reaver gets plenty of kills.
The Marines over towards the goons. Oh, nice call, Borisu. Go kill him. Good call. I like it.
I think that's your only chance at this point. Just try your best to go kill, but when you only have a couple tanks, they're gonna have siege, but there's these Marines. If you can
goons. It's literally he's challenged him to a base race, but one guy has a proxy and the other guy has more stuff in his base. I don't know.
Yeah, but how do you actually get up to the high ground?
The correct answer is to go defend the proxy with this Reaver, or defend the 2-fact with the Reaver.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. You bring the Reaver back, get it on top of the ramp, and just block it up, because there's no way to get up there, and the Reaver is going to destroy everything.
Depends on the tank shots.
Oh, we got the shuttle moving back, a little bit delayed though. We're gonna see if he can actually.
Yep.
Tanks are moving forward.
This might actually be a Borisu victory. I don't. Yeah.
I don't like the stuff stopping to kill that pylon of natural. I want everything in this main as soon as possible. Reaver gets dropped down, couple goons.
Ooh, that scared him. Ooh, that was good.
Let's see. We got a couple goons here. There's still some SUVs that can repair tanks, but not staying by the tanks. So if they get picked off,
to leverage the Reaver on these tanks, and he's not.
Well, actually, I like what he's doing here. He's killing off all the Marines so that he could just drop right onto the tanks. So he's gonna lose like a gateway and stuff, but this should still work pretty okay.
He starts a command center somewhere random. Oh dear.
Yeah, we do have a 1-2 health tank.
The gateway died? Question mark.
Yep. Yeah, we do have a Reaver slow crawling across the entire map.
He's won. GG. Good job.
Yeah, all the tanks did die to the Reaver because staying in siege mode once they weren't separated anymore. Reaver ends the game with 21 kills.
What a game. That was a good one. Good call by Warsu. That was the best possible option in that situation.
Yeah, I do like the reaction. Just oof. Alright, so we got another win for BAS. Yeah. They've been lighting it up, it seems. So let's see how this one goes. We got one more tier 2 game coming up. These games have been fun so far. I'm having a good time.
Yep, it's good. You told me they were short and that there was a bunch of 2-0s in here, and I was like, oh, darn it. I signed up for one of the bad ones, and this is just not. There's a lot of 2-0s, but wow.
Well, let's see what the when we get into tier 1, maybe the series get a little bit closer. We'll have to see what goes on here.
Don't count on it. Tier 1. Tier 1 is almost as bad as Tier 2 for weird skill mismatches. Mostly because there isn't really an upper cutoff for Tier 1.
I feel like if I told you, like, I'm gonna go play the Lyre, you'd be like, it's a waste of money, it's completely impossible. There's, like, no optimism for you on anything, it seems like.
I am actually an extraordinarily optimistic person.
Well, how optimistic are you about a good CVZ?
Game, and
you think whoa, you think Broodor is a solved game?
In how do I put this? It's not a solved game, but the comeback mechanics are not as effective as everyone else says they are. There can be comebacks, but it is very easy once you get to a certain point to just say that someone else has won.
Yeah.
It's very easy to just look at a game and go, okay, he's won. Great.
Well, it's very easy to go, he should win. But then it's on player skill to actually close out the game. That's one of the things I like about this game so much, especially for a good majority of MMR we cast with the CPL, is just, it's like you look at this, man, look at that great spot they're in. Are they gonna throw it across the room so badly? And then usually it does. Usually they do get thrown, or the matches get close because people don't know how to close out, or they have a really strong late game with a bad early game.
I guess my style lends itself to ridiculously hard neck-breaking closers, so I just personally have that experience. But
well, we just gotta get you to start advertising people. How do you win games? Just build 15 Nexuses. Take every base at once. He can't kill them all. I
swear to God, it works. Especially on a map like Circuit Breakers or Fighting Spirit, you can just take both mains and flip them off because you're winning and you're in a commanding position. And
alright, so how do you feel about ZVZ? You know a little bit about this matchup?
I think it's fantastic, mostly because Zergling versus Zergling micro is really fun. But obviously the lack of expansions, it's its own thing, right? Like, how do you put it? It's a knife fight. I don't mind the fact that it's a knife fight. I'm not going to be like...
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't even feel like a knife fight. It feels like a pencil fight, where it's like there's no range.
I know those games are really great, too. Where you're like, well, I have 2 drones and he has 3 drones, so I guess I'd better build a Zergling.
Or even just the other way. It's like, I have 3 drones, so you're saying there's a chance. Oh man.
And there really is in ZVC. That's what makes it fantastic and great. Is like literally I can get one Zergling into someone's main and just haha, we've completely changed the balance of power, and suddenly I'm back into this game.
All right. So to recap the opening a little bit, very different builds from the two players. White went for an overpull and is taking that early expansion, delaying their lair very significantly, but getting Zergling speed. Purple went for a 9 pull into gas to get a fast lair, skipping Ling speed to get fast Muta. So completely different styles, and we'll have to see how they clash up.
I am thoroughly excited for the giant Ling attack on the ramp, because that is full scout. That's really good.
Oh, that's fantastic, especially seeing no Evo chamber yet.
What?
Especially since he sees from the white players no Evo chamber yet for Spores, and when he's doing this incredibly fast Muta rush.
Yep. There's the Spire.
Yeah, it looks like Spire was a little bit late. Still plenty of gas left over.
But he's grabbing a sunken colony, so I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those games with the Spores and the long and the weird.
Well, we're actually getting up to 3 hatcheries, so I think White is completely committing to overwhelm with Lings and bypass
This is going to be one
Mutas.
of those games with the Zerglings and the Deadings.
Yeah, and we see EJ being very aware of the advantage they have, like double stacking a concave around their own ramp, refusing to give this up, and building a sunken just in case.
Yep. He's just gonna stay there and wait. Whoa, he went back to all. Whoa, that's really interesting.
What's that?
He went straight into only. He pulled his gas workers, so he's gonna build literally 1 Muta.
Oh wow, that is a little bit extreme. Maybe scout something where he's like, no, I need minerals right now.
It's the Zergling thing, and it's worked. He's gonna hold. He's got the sunken.
Yeah. Now the thing is, he's gonna hold for now, but he is down like 2 hatcheries worth of production because there's 3 hatcheries about to complete for White. So I think this is the time to add maybe another sunken. And you definitely need to get gas to get more mutas. You can use the 1 for defense, but you got to get some kind of counter pressure back on. And we have an Evo chamber and a creep colony for White, so that backstab of mutas is not going to do tremendously good damage. So looking like White's in control of this early game so far.
He's droning. That's an interesting decision. I don't think you can. I don't think he's safe.
I don't think he's safe either. Maybe he's just thinking that White's on 2 hatcheries, not 3.
I mean, even against 2 hatcheries, you're not safe. Because 3 hatcheries haven't kicked in yet. The first eggs are still morphing from that.
Yeah, we see lots of drones going down. Sunken about to drop, super close. Can't actually get a Ling to it, but with this next little group, might be able to. This could actually be... Finally gets the sunken down. We have 1 Muta to help defend, but there's so few drones for purple. Now, meanwhile, if we take a look, there's actually only 6 drones for White, so he's super all in on this.
Yeah, no, there isn't actually. Purple has more drones than White. Like I said, he was droning.
Yeah.
He snuck out 2 drones in the middle of that, which is insane, and why he lost the sunken, and why he's probably just going to die to the giant ball of Lings running across the map. But it's really cool of him to try. I don't know what to make of that.
I think it would have worked if he made a second sunken, like made the drone to replace it. But not respecting how much.
He clicks his own sunken call or own spawning pool. That's really unfortunate.
Oof.
I think he may. He loses the drone.
Yeah, he's gonna keep barely defending this, but it's just not going to be enough.
No, it's getting worse. He couldn't afford that. He's down to 4 drones now, and that means he's dead.
Now we still don't see a lair started from White yet. Not mining gas either.
He doesn't need one.
Well, I mean, if you slowly build up this Muta count, you might be able to actually start defending these Lings fast enough. I'm trying to think of ways that you might lose.
No, the math doesn't work.
Like I'm trying to do that like caster doubt thing, like, but what about this possibility? You're like, nope, shut it down, not a chance, it's impossible.
I don't want people to GG early, but I would like to not have to spend most of our casting time watching people not GG when they're clearly dead. I mean, like...
No, I get what you're saying. Like, it's not a fun experience right now. Actually, how many drones are there right now for purple?
None. There's
one on the way. One on the way. So if you lose that drone before he makes another, then he's out of drones. We actually see White sending a couple of drones. I think that was a bad rally because it would have been awesome if it was Sunkets.
Good. More Zerglings. These mutas are actually going to get across the map, so they may actually be able to delay the end of this game for another significant amount of time.
They can't afford to go across the map right now. They need to be at home.
Well, no, I know, but they get a bunch of distance, and he can shoot the lings on their way over. Although he appears to not have that micro skill mastered, so never mind. This should be GG.
Ling's moving in. There's 2 drones left with not enough minerals to make another one. There's... Oh, come on, return that mineral. You need to return that mineral. The drone's actually hiding off...
Fire like a fool.
Yeah, he's hiding the 2 drones, but they're in sight of an overlord, so... They are not hidden at all. Trying to get the Spire down. Still plenty of health left on it, but... Trying to take away the only advantage.
Spire's coming. Or, no, it's not. Never mind. He's about to build it.
Still a good amount of gas away from it, though. So, a little bit of time. And we do see Purple trying to get a little bit back on this map. He can sneak around, kill off any stray overlords, just slow his opponent down a little bit. Might be able to get back in.
Honestly, I'm really surprised that White isn't just... Oh, he built a ton... Oh my goodness. He built a lot of spores.
All he has to do is not die, though. Like, realistically, that's how he loses his game, not respecting the mutas. So I'm fully on board with this level of commitment.
I mean, well, he's droning too. He's okay.
Yeah.
That is, I would have preferred him to just build Zerglings until Purple died. But
yeah, I'm a little not as on board with him getting the Lair and the Spire. Just build the Sunkets and make a crap ton of Lings attack all at once, so the mutas can't actually fight it.
I mean, the Overlord kills are cool, I guess. I mean, it's something. But he lost a drone in the meantime to these Zerglings getting into his base. So like, IDK family.
I mean, we're having lots of fun. We're counting singular drones, talking about, oh man, he needs to return these minerals, or he's not gonna be able to build a drone. Like, it's fun, low economy action.
Sarcasm is unbecoming. Ooh, these mutas are gonna fly over these Zerglings that he's banking up for backstab if he notices. Nope.
Doesn't quite see it. Actually, turned around, does see, and actually he's going to be able to catch 4. Although with the Ling speed, the mutas sure can catch up directly, but if he keeps turning, he does.
Okay. No, he doesn't. Never mind.
We get the 1 Ling going in. There's a couple Lings now to defend, and he's starting to build up that drone count. Looking back to White.
A whole 4.
Listen, percentage-wise, it's going up. It's skyrocketing.
It is. And his opponent still only has 9 and is still building more buildings, so...
I actually did cancel that next
opponent is also building Mutalisks. So...
Yeah,
the moment to win the game is quickly slipping away.
This is what I don't want to see, though, because you're trying to catch up on mutas, and you're taking the only strength your opponent has at fighting into it for no particular reason.
I mean, it's gonna work. He's already got 3. He'll have 4 in a moment. His opponent literally cannot afford another one.
Well, very soon they will be able to. Come on, they're catching up drones.
They're
up to 7 drones. They're catching up. It's possible, man.
Yeah, I guess just building Zerglings and killing him would have been vastly superior. You are correct.
Yeah, I think I liked him building the spores and being defensive to make sure he doesn't die to the mutalist backstab. But I definitely would have preferred staying on Lings, building up like 2 groups of them, and sending them over. So 4 or 5 mutas can't kill them any bit fast. Oh, we do have a couple Scourge. We're going to see if EJ knows how to deal with Scourge in the muta versus muta fight. Purple making a couple Scourge of their own. White has a couple more, though, so let's see how this goes.
White is chasing, which gives Purple an advantage for the Scourge. Oh, send your Scourge in, my man. Oh no!
Oh, Purple now being supply blocked. And only making 1 Overlord, so they're barely going to have any supply available once that finishes. But we got a couple more Scourge on the way for Purple. Looking like we're going to have 6 and 4 mutas for Purple compared to the 4 mutas, but only like 2 Scourge, maybe 4 for White. So a little bit of an air advantage to Purple, depending on who gets the better engage.
I like these Lings from Purple. if they get in there and start killing drones. Oh, there's a sunken. Never mind. Oh god, he loses another overlord. That's no bueno.
I mean, so we do have the links. There is no sunken at the natural though, so you might be able to do some damage to that further hatchery. White adding on some more mutas now actually has a muted advantage compared to purple's situation. So it should be able to muscle way through because purple doesn't have any spores to help defend this or anything. I think this game is finally going to start closing out soon, with purple being so far behind, making some good moves to stay in it.
13-minute ZVZ, that's pretty cool. I don't care how it happened.
Oh my god,
that's pretty cool. The one matchup where I don't particularly mind no GG is ZVZ because it takes like 10 minutes.
Oh, we're getting that big fight. Good skirt connections, but not quite enough.
Can he dodge him? The ones coming? No. Oh, he can't. Okay. Well, that answers that question.
Now, there's only a couple meters left for white. Good amount of lings, and it looks like they're going to run across to see if they can get some damage done on the white base. Meanwhile, we got a couple mutas. They're going to be killing more drones. Purple economy just not doing well today. Constantly getting attacked.
Yeah, this game's over. Actually, this time.
Now we do see from white.
No, well, it was over when I said it was over. They just didn't finish it. And now we're actually getting to the point where it finishes. Hey, purple had enough money for enough things that this may actually somewhat continue? Question mark? Maybe? No, he's going to get back to his defenses.
Oh, no.
His have been slaughtered.
Yeah, his lanes got caught on the ramp going down. White getting a big advantage with those. And purple having 2 meters to 2 meters with a couple skirts, so having an air fight for now. But white will be able to actually reinforce.
Back down to 4 drones.
5. There's 5.
5. There's one under the overlord. 6.
And purple finally taps on that one, trying their best to stay in it. Definitely a hard match, especially with taking that big of a hit early on.
Yeah, that was really impressive trying to battle back, but you can't win 3 versus 3 hatch versus 2 hatch. It's kind of possible, but larva advantage is larva advantage.
Absolutely. Now we're going to be moving into game 2, Zerg vs Zerg. I love Zerg vs Zerg as a matchup. I don't really like playing it as much, but watching it's fun. It's always high tempo and action. It's not people turtling up and being defensive. It's like, here's my 5 units, here's your 5 units. Let's play micro wars. And I think that's really fun.
Listen, boy. I like, here's my 40 units, here's my 40 units, let's play micro wars.
Yeah, but
I think that's fantastic.
So you like Protoss vs Protoss then? Goon versus Goon battles with a shuttle involved.
I love Protoss versus Protoss, but I also like TVT because that's a micro battle too. Y'all just don't consider it micro because y'all are prejudiced.
Putting your tank in the correct spot is not micro.
There is a lot more involved, mostly dropship. Dropship micro is intense, my man.
I just wanted to get a rise out of you on that one.
Yeah.
Right.
Overlord going in the correct direction for our friend Bal. Ash? Ash? We're going to call him Ash.
Yeah.
And I think...
Both of them getting Overlord. It's no 9 pool this time. So yeah, we do have a different build. EJ not going for the 9 pool into fast gas this time. We do have an Overlord, even faster gas. I thought that might have been for an extractor trick, but it is not. So even faster gas, still no pool though. So this is interesting.
You can do this. It does work. He's just taking a risk.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, his opponent did show last time that they took a little bit less of a aggressive opening. So maybe thinking that the opponent wants to go for that second hatchery again.
This is a really weird one. I don't even know what to make of this.
Yeah, still no pool from EJ. Finally gonna get one started.
There's the pool.
There we go.
Okay. That's a weird spot for a pool, but okay. I guess it's better than most of the ones on this map. This map is not super great for that.
Yeah, the only way I could think of is that they're going to close off below the pool to close to the hatchery, that you can tuck sunken in that little gap or something, make it hard to get to. And we'll have to see what they do with the Sim City on that one.
Right, no. The sunken goes inside of between the gas and the spawning pool, so the gas drones always run in front of it.
Yeah. Now we do see that early hatchery again from Ashball, really committing to getting 2 hatcheries worth of stuff. So we'll see if they are super committed to this high lane count again. Well, let's see if they pull out guys at 100 gas, or if they're going to go for a lair this time. Meanwhile, EJ with 300 gas starts a lair. And doesn't start their Zerglade speed yet. Very interesting. Really banking up a ton of gas, but you're not going to be able to spend it all. Like, not for a very long time.
I mean, he can sprint up to lair and get Ling speed, but he's not getting Ling speed, so I don't know.
And we got a second hatchery, so okay, that makes a little more sense. Banking the gas really early.
It's 2 hatch muta, yeah.
Okay, that makes a little more sense now, but...
I don't think he'll be able to hold his ramp.
Yeah, this is very skimping on defense at the front. So he's going to have to survive for quite a while, and we already see 8 lings, now 10 for Ashball, and the Overlord scouting exactly how little is actually here.
Yep. He should go right. Yeah, there he goes.
Well, let's see how this one goes. The EJ's Overlord moving in the correct direction, but not going to be in time to really see what's going on, especially with the hatchery at the natural instead of in base. All he's going to see is lack of lair, but even that's being started. Ashball not committing to lings for quite as long as the first game.
Supply blocked himself as well.
Well, if he loses a couple lings, he's just going to fix that right up.
I mean, yeah, but if he could have been making lings this whole time, he might not be about to lose his ramp in the game. But he's about to lose his ramp and the game.
It does seem that way. Lings get up. There's Spire on the way and a hatchery. No sunken or anything, so...
Ooh, that ling pop just almost saved him, but then it didn't.
Yeah, so we got 5 lings alive in the base. Spire nowhere near completion, so mutas aren't going to save this one. I don't know how he's going to actually control his way out of this one.
With perfect drone micro, theoretically, it's possible.
Theoretically, it's possible, but these lings really make it short work of these drones. A couple lanes pop out, but there's still a big advantage for Ashball on this one.
I mean, he's got so much gas banks that if he just gets the minerals in time, he suddenly is back in the game because he's got 6 mutas.
He's not going to get 600 minerals in time, though. Like, he's going to be. He had to spend some on legs just to stay alive, and there's more legs on the way. We got 2 hatchery production from Brown, so this is going to be very difficult to actually hold. We see that he has a couple in the base, and he's waiting for the next group, so he's going to very much overwhelm his orange opponent.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Ling's moving in, taking a good fight. Outnumber the opponent's Lings 2-1, and then gonna just destroy through drones. Orange taps out, and it looks like Ashball takes that one 2-0. So I think that's another one for BAS.
Alright.
Alright, so as we finish up Tier 2, it looks like the score we have is 4 for BAS and 2 for Salt Mine. So not over yet, but Salt Mine's Tier 1's got to really get the job done.
Yep. As I'm sure you heard, I will have to take a break. I misjudged the amount of time, and I'll be back in 45 minutes, if you're still here.
Well, if you, when you hop back in, just, I'll look for a PM on Discord. Just let me know, and then after the game. Okay? Alright, so let's close that up real quick. Make sure we're in here. Oop. Okay. Actually, I might have someone to hop on in and help me out with some of this. We're gonna give this just a second before we start Tier 1 matches. I want to see if we can get a co-caster in here. Makes the cast a little more interesting to have someone, you know, to bounce off of a little bit. How are you guys doing tonight? Just see him on my friends list. Okay. Alright, we'll see if we can get someone to jump in a little bit later, but we're going to get into the next game. We're starting Tier 1 now, and I think our first match, we'll have to see how this one goes. Alright, so looks like we got a Terran versus Protoss on Circuit Breakers getting cross spawns, so let's see if there's any crazy stuff going on this time. Yogs the Toth being our Terran player in the lower left, and Intact 1 being our Protoss in the top right. And looks like got a little friendly banter going on, so always a good thing to see. People know each other, having a good time. Now, I always wish I could see the order the matches are played in and see, like, well, what were the results of the series up to this point. Adds a little extra pressure because, like I said, with the way scores have been going from what we casted, BAS currently up 4-2 in the series. So all they gotta do is close out one more match, and let's see if that can get done here. Intact 1, that is an early pylon. So we got 7 instead of 8. That's a little unusual. Usually you have no reason to start it earlier than that. Like, you don't want to do a crazy early gateway in your base. It doesn't add anything substantial. We'll have to see what he wants to keep going forward and doing. As you can see here, still a little bit behind on the pro production. Gonna start the gateway. Everything's just gonna be a little bit slower because of that, but not the end of the world. Starting with that first single gateway build you easily normally expect, and I'm expecting a barracks from the Terran player soon as well. Unless he does like a CC first, that'd be awesome. I feel like I haven't seen my central building first build in a very long time other than with Zergs. Like, I haven't seen a Nexus or a Command Center first in quite a while. No one wanting to take that risk, it seems. And we get the gas on the way as well, so not going to get a gas. Let's expand from the Terran player. Wants to get their factory count up. We'll have to see if there's going to be some kind of like 2 factory push, or we're just going to do the 1 factory expand, some kind of FD. Plenty of options. Not unclear just yet what they're going to be going for. Oh, we got a similar going down. Nothing unusual just yet. Cybernetics core going forward. Or, not forward, to the left. This is like a little bit weird building placement to me, but I guess using it just for vision, see if you can scout any kind of drop or anything like that. But I'm not used to seeing stuff built this far out for the Protoss base. But you know what? If it works, it works. Just building a supply depot for Terran, and Terran took some guys out of gas, so looking like they want to lean for that early expansion before they add more guys into the gas. Haven't seen a factory start just yet, even though he does have the gas to do it. It's a little unusual. And there we got the factory started just now. A little bit late. Maybe he was trying to kill the probe so it wouldn't get scattered first. But, I mean, once you see the gas, you're going to assume some kind of factory. You would want to hide the second factory more than anything, not really the first. So, not sure if I agree with that being delayed for whatever reason he was going for. We got plenty of money for Intact. Starting his goon production. Hasn't started range yet, though, so curious to see where he's going from there, if it's going to be some kind of tech rush or something. And starting the air weapons, faking his range upgrade. So once the throw his opponent off, this is usually something you do for Dark Templar. So let's see if that is actually the build he's going for. He needs to get the SCV out of the base, that early goon, and then he can cancel this and do whatever he was going to do instead. Very cute little play, something that you got to remember as a Protoss player. And actually, this is weird from Protoss as well, that he took guys out of the gas while he's faking, while he's doing this weird stuff. He took guys out of gas just to get the next up a little faster, and this is just a very interesting opening from our Protoss player. Curious to see what the follow-up is from here. Meanwhile, we got the CC being started on the low ground, and a bunker to protect it. Bunker a little bit further forward than I'm used to seeing compared to the CC itself. Machine shop being added on. Let's see what buildings he goes for in that first upgrade. If it's going to be like Spider Mines or Siege. And meanwhile, we got the second gateway on the way. Air weapons canceled and starts goon range. And now getting 3 gateways. Super unordered build from the Protoss player. I don't know what he's doing, what weird fake outs he's going for, but I mean, sometimes rough openings just happen. Maybe he's got a sense of something where he's like, oh no, I gotta adapt really quick. He's seeing it, he knows. I'm not really sure what this is about. Didn't get the guys back in gas despite that opening and getting a robo, so he has a reasonably early nexus, getting up to 3 gateways and a robo really fast. So he has plenty of production buildings, but just not a lot of units yet. He will eventually, but we'll have to see what he's going for. He does have the spider mine, so maybe some kind of FD push to push this back, but he didn't keep producing marines or anything, so maybe just setting up to be a little defensive. But here comes a couple SCVs. We'll see if they'll be transferred to the natural. They are, so not indicating any really early push. Plenty of probes going out to the natural, and another probe going out to take the 3rd base as well. Has these 3 gateways, but unable to actually produce out all of them just yet. So, struggling to make use of all the infrastructure you built so quickly. Getting that fast observer, though, to fight the spider mines that were likely coming soon. And we got a starport from our Terran player, so looking like maybe some kind of vulture drop or something to peel his opponent away from the natural and get some damage done. Now, with the way he's been building buildings and getting that fast observer, he might be able to see this and actually shut it down without too much issue. As long as you get in a spot where you can do it. You can see the vultures moving out and about here. They're going to be able to see this 3rd base, this is a little unfortunate that he gets it scouted so quickly. Let's see if he actually wants to let it finish, if he's going to try to defend it with some of these goons. But now he has an idea there's some vultures here, so if you don't send the vultures to the front, maybe you can sniff out that drop's coming. A couple more vultures moving out now. We got speed on the way, so already got the mines done. Control tower to get that dropship like I was thinking. And we got double forge from Protoss, going big upgrades. Playing like it's Starcraft 2 a little bit or something. Just is a very unusual Brood War build. Haven't seen stuff like this in quite a while. We do have the observer to help him clean out this area, so these vultures aren't going to be able to actually close out this nexus. Obviously, with so much damage to do, it would take forever. Goons fighting goons. Unfortunate. Hopefully he knows this before he loses that goon. And we got a couple vultures going into the main. Plenty of probes being pulled back, and Intact GG's on the spot. Okay. I guess realizing how much damage he was about to take, I feel like that's early. Like, really early? Those are goons in production? Doesn't... Yeah, there's goons in production. I don't know. That's a weird one. Alright, so... I don't know what happened, but the second game didn't get played. The opponent basically forfeited out. So... I don't know. So we're gonna. That is Yogg winning both those games. They didn't play. He said the opponent basically GG'd as they entered the second one. Didn't want to play the second one. Maybe something in real life came up that caused that to happen. But unfortunate. I wanted to see what happened in the first game. Maybe it was gonna be something like some kind of cool harass, did a lot of damage, and else. I didn't know what to expect, but unfortunately, just. Not the greatest series, but you know what? It happens. Not the end of the world. We got a couple more series to come, so not the end of the world. That one didn't go the distance. So we're going to be going into our next Tier 1 series. Just between I Got Sunshine and Jake Pliskin. So we are in Tier 1, but Jake Pliskin is a valiant, courageous Tier 2 player stepping up to fill in the Tier 1 spot for the team. So, he's trying. We'll have to see how this one goes. The gap between skills shouldn't be too bad, but definitely this card can be a little stacked against him. So we're going to have to see how this goes. Gotta get in game. There we go. So, we're going into this next set. We got I Got Sunshine with the brown Zerg. We got Jake Pliskin with the white Zerg. I would say if there is going to be a little bit more of a skill difference, maybe this would be the matchup you would want that to have that in the most. Because there's, like, at least like in Zero Zerg, there is some build order wins that can help you out. Or at least get you those early advantages. But with I mean, it's not like Jake's being at tier 2 has like no idea how to play or anything like that. Should be able to hold up a fight here, so I'm excited to see what he does and how it works out. Now I would say like one of the things is like maybe take a gamble, right? If you're gonna do that, like do a 9 pool and try to do some damage, or maybe do like a 12 hatch and hope they don't 9 pool. I think maybe doing something like an overpool might be like the worst kind of opening you can do, because if you're trying to step a little bit out of your element, maybe just take that risk that you can pick the right build and get the advantage that way. Would love to see something like that, and don't see the overload yet, so it does look like Jake is going for that spawning pool on 9. Unfortunately, it looks like I Got Sunshine is doing the same thing, so going to be a very intense, low economy kind of warfare. Let's see how it goes from here. We're gonna see who gets that first gas. Are we getting it for link speed? Are we getting it for layers? Are we getting it for both? Both players getting their gas very fast, making use of that early pool to get that early tech as well. It'll just be a choice of which tech, and does someone want to try to get that second hatchery as well. Nothing crazy different yet from our players just yet. We'll have to wait a little bit of time. Cross spawn's going to make it a little bit harder on this matchup, I think, for 9 pool D, because you just have a little bit more time for your opponent to react, especially if their overlords can see your stuff in transit. Now, neither player is going to get that first scout and get that free information, so it's going to be where they get the second one. And given that their overlords are probably the second set of overlords are going to go the other direction, they're still not going to get overlord in their base with the cross spawns. Both players building 3 sets of links, so no one trying to sneak out a little extra drone advantage or anything. Committing to that 9 pool to do that early damage. And link speed for both players as well, so builds being very mirrored from both of them, with slightly more resources to I Got Sunshine, maybe from a slightly better gas timing or something. Hard to tell, but we get the links moving out. And if they just run across the map like this, we'll see where they meet if one of them get a little bit of a better engage, because a link advantage like this with soloing just can be one of those things that snowballs very quickly. They meet each other in the middle, and it looks like Jake seems we're a little closer together, so Sunshine is retreating, Jake waiting for his first set of reinforcements to keep going. And Sunshine looking like he's just going to back up to this ramp and take defensive hold instead. Now we do have the lair from Jake on the way. We also have the lair from Sunshine. Sunshine's lair being a little further along, so I think he's feeling okay just defending this ramp, making sure the links don't get in and do any critical damage. If Jake tries to push up and take a bad advantage, he's going to have a superior link count and can counterattack. Otherwise, he has that faster lair. He's going to get to the spire ahead of time a little bit first. Actually pulls a drone up here too. I think that's just a little bit of a missed rally, a little unfortunate. Jake up to 10 links to the 12 of Sunshine, so still the advantage, plus the high ground advantage as well. A couple more links on the way. Let's see where these players go from here. It looks like we've got 8 drones on minerals for Jake, 8 for Sunshine, so no big advantages one way or the other there. Sunshine getting his overlord nearing completion. Jake did his a little earlier, so not facing a supply block at the moment. But I think both players wanting to save their larva a little bit and save their resources. Spire on the way already for Sunshine, so as long as he has those 3 larvae when the Spire is done, he's going to have plenty of gas and money to use as well. Less like Jake can break through and force him to start spending larvae on links. Spire on the way for Jake as well, just a little bit behind, nothing crazy. And Sunshine sneaking out some drones. Yeah, Sunshine sneaking out drones. We got 1 on the way for Jake, so a little bit of an economy advantage so far for Sunshine. With a build like this, with both players being very patient, waiting for their muted tech, these little details are gonna kind of make the difference here and there. And you can even see, like, the gas was very close early on, but you can see it's starting to get a lot more out of hand. Sunshine having enough for 1 whole extra muted or a free set of Scourge, basically, compared to what Jake's resources are up to. Jake sneak out another extra drone. Still going to have plenty of larvae for when the Spire does finish up, and both players going to have enough gas and money for 3 mutas on the spot. So it's going to be curious to see what happens, because when the first mutas pop, they're going to go from Sunshine, so he's going to be able to attack into these links first, and it's going to be how fast does Jake react and not lose links. If he loses a couple links there, then there's a pure army advantage for Sunshine, and he's going to be able to go across the map. You have to be careful to not engage too bad of a spot where the defender advantage will be in favor. Wait, yeah. I don't know. This is definitely going to be a weird one. We're actually getting flyer carapace for Jake, so assuming everything stays equal, if he finishes that up, the Muta versus Muta fight is going to be very heavily in his favor. Now, we do see 14 links for Sunshine, still to 12, and now the Muta's popping. How are these links going to react? Hold position cost them a couple shots, but they get out without losing too many, and Sunshine's on the map and can do whatever he wants. We got a couple Mutas on the way as well, so 3 versus 3, slight link advantage for Sunshine as well. And we got the hatchery in the base being made. We got a hatchery also for Sunshine, literally mirroring each other's steps along the way. Just Sunshine doing everything a little bit greedier or a little bit faster. And it's going to pay off eventually, but both players staying in it very tight to each other. Jake getting that upper ground, but doesn't make the concave. If the Lynx want to run forward, they can. And Lynx started to take that fight against the other Lynx. Muta versus Muta's fight. We got 2 Scourge here, though. It's going to give... We do a lot of damage to Sunshine stuff, but with 3 Lynx, 3 Mutas left over to Jake's 4, Sunshine's Mutas have to back off. But with a couple Lynx getting in the base, we'll see if we can get any drone kills. It looks like they do get 1 drone kill. So, both players trading a little bit. Now the advantages are in different spots a little bit. We got a little bit of a muted advantage for Sunshine, having 1 extra one at the base. Didn't build any Scourge, though. And meanwhile, we lost a little bit of drones. We lost the link build up, but both players not rebuilding the links, just going pure Muta versus Muta. And we're up to 5 Muta for white, one of them being pretty heavily bruised. We got 6 Mutas, so this is definitely a problem. But one of the Overlords fighting, but that leaves the Muta stationary to get caught by the other ones. Takes a big amount of damage from Sunshine's Mutas. A lot of his now bruised to half health or less. And doesn't get the Overlord, barely survives. It would have been interesting if he got that and supply blocked his opponent for a little bit. And then as Jake is making a couple links, his opponent also makes some, but there's a couple more for Jake. So Sunshine moving forward with superior Muta advantage, trying to get something done. The link's going to be going through for Jake, and with a couple extra links, but Sunshine retreats so you can defend back at home. We're up to 6 versus 8. Still a big Muta advantage. That air armor about to finish, but Jake taking the fight just beforehand. Loses lots of damage on his Mutas. Going down to 1 left. Now it's 0. And Jake taps out right after that. Played it good up to then. It was really interesting to see both players mirrored basically the exact same build, but just slowly getting that a little bit of advantage for Sunshine. Played quite well in that series. That's like the best kind of replay to have, too. It's like, oh, this is the build I want to do. My opponent did the exact same thing, but eked out just a little bit more. You can get some ideas of, if you get in the situation, then exactly how to handle it. So, definitely cool to have that kind of match. Oh, well, let's see if game 2 goes a little bit more in Jake's favor. That'd be cool. But we're going into game 2 on whiteout. Alright, this time we got Sunshine in the orange, and we got Jake in the red. Let's see which one goes. This time we got Jake scouting the correct direction. So does Sunshine. Jake not scouting the direction I would expect. I know this isn't quite as imperative as in the other matchups, but I thought you scout towards that first expansion. So maybe Jake just going with the gut feeling that's like, nah, I think he's down there, and he found him. So that's definitely going to be helpful knowledge that they're both get full vision of each other at the exact same time, pretty much. I'll see if we're going to be mirroring builds again, or if there's going to be a deviation from one of the players. I don't see any reason why Sunshine would change the build he did. He was in the same spot as Jake, put on a build that could do early pressure. His opponent did the same, but then just slowly got those advantages here and there. I think Sunshine's going to end up doing the same thing. So I'm looking more towards Jake to do something a little different. If you think your opponent's got a 9 pool, an over pool is definitely good, because as long as you're not trying to be a little aggressive, having that little extra economy gets the Mutas up a little faster, lets you be a little greedier with the gas, or affords you that one sunken to protect you. And we'll have to see. We got that early drone moving out for Jake. That's interesting. We have an Overlord finishing for Sunshine, so at least going over pool. Adds on more, so it looks like Sunshine may be going for 12 hatch. Jake, in the middle of the map, makes a hatchery, so looking like it's going to be a big Ling play from Jake, but hiding the hatchery out of where it's never going to be scouted pretty much, in hopes that his opponent not seeing the extra larva will give him that advantage to really run him over before there's adequate defense. Now, this is probably as good as you're going to get in Jake's situation. Jake's starting the pool first, getting a little advantage. The second hatchery is started ahead of time compared to his opponent and a little more far forward, and he's getting gas as well. Sunshine going to have a good economy and a good backbone of larva to play with, but he's going to have to get there, and because everything's a little more standard, a little slower compared to Jake. As long as Jake can get some damage done early, he's going to be in a fantastic spot. Meanwhile, we still see Sunshine adding on a bunch of drones. Spawn pool nowhere near completion yet. Jake's is much closer. We'll see if this is in line with the hatchery. It looks like it's about in time for the hatchery to finish. So I'm thinking you'll get the 6 lings from home. You get the 1 set of lings here. As these get to this spot, you might be able to make the second and have like a nice burst of 8 to 10 to go into for that first attack. And Jake moving in with his Overlord to see that there is no lair stars. Spawn pool has done, so you can deduce that his opponent started early hatch. Sunshine seems very similar stuff, so even though he passed over the natural and didn't see the hatchery, he should assume there's a hatchery, because Jake has the same amount of shit I have, and I went hatchery first. So I would assume Sunshine has an idea that there is a little bit of a gimmick afoot. Now, I would love to see a sunken down here, because you're going to see the same kind of stuff. Jake waiting at his ramp instead of really charging forward. Wants to get some of the larva cooking and really get some lings made first. Well, let's see. Is there any kind of reaction? We're getting that early lair. Speed on the way for both players. Jake's slightly ahead of his opponent. No stack defense being made yet, and he's not camping into this upper ground. Now, Sunshine having 12 lings here. We got a couple on the way for Jake. Looks like maybe 10 to 12 as well, but they're not grouped together. So Jake gonna have to be careful to not engage this fight too early. If he gets caught out, it's gonna be really terrible, because Jake definitely needs to get some stuff done with the lings. Adding on more lings, really piling into it, but not even attempting to get a lair. So slowly getting the amount of gas he needs. He can build a delayed lair, but let's see how this fight goes first. A little lane versus lane battle. Couple get into the main as the other lanes fight each other off, but because he split up the force, Sunshine won that fight very handily. Reinforcements popped out from his expansions and grouped up. All Jake's lanes go down. Sunshine still has at least a group, and the lair is already actually completed. Don't know how Jake's gonna get an advantage from here. The only big advantage he had was lings, and they got thrown away very quickly. So he's not gonna be able to outproduce. They both have 2 hatcheries worth of stuff, and he's going to be behind on the lair tech. And Jake taps out, realizing he's just not going to be able to claw his way back into this game. It was a cute idea, but just a little unfortunate. Maybe if the attack came a little bit sooner and the reinforcements didn't come, maybe if he waited for another round of production, let him commit to the Spire, or see if he wants to drone up, be a little greedy. I think just attacking at the time is what did it in for Jake. So, Sunshine takes that one 2-0. We got another win for BAS, it looks like. And we're going to be getting into our final series of the night. A lot of the games have been a little quick and interesting, but and I think our co-caster is back now, so we're going to give him a buzz.
Hello?
Hello.
Do I just have the best timing in the world?
You do have the best timing in the world.
I'm fantastic. Look at that.
Pretty good. So you missed 2 series.
Okay. That's a fast 2 series.
Yeah, one of them actually was only 1 game, but all the games were quite quick.
Oh, okay.
So we're moving into the final series of the night. We have 1 final tier 1. It's gonna be another Terran versus Protoss.
Nice. Alrighty. Who we got here?
is going to be Dragoon versus Reverie.
Ooh, nice.
Which I know Dragoon, very very strong player. Like the way he plays. I don't know anything about Reverie though. Do you?
I don't either. I'm in the same boat as you are exactly. I literally, if you'd asked me to summarize what I knew about the players, I would have said Dragoon is good, and I don't know Reverie.
Fair enough. So, well, let's see how this one goes. Hoping for some better games. The last couple were like
Not tier 1 material.
Well, no, they were so the one set had Jake Pliskin stepping up to fill a tier 1 since he was the same race, but it's a tier 2.
Okay.
And the games he tried, it's just the opponent had little advantages.
Yeah, that mechanical advantage that feels really bad to cast because you're like, yeah, this guy, he just has more mechanical skill. Good on you, Jake, though. Super awesome for stepping out. Shout out to Jake for watching everything and making Team Liquid pages for everything and being awesome in general.
And having one of the best pun names I've seen. I appreciate that one so much.
It's fantastic.
And then the other one was just a game that I think the opponent couldn't play the game too or forfeited really quick. I'm thinking something came up in real life. It wasn't just rage quit. Well, never gonna know the full story.
That's the story of CPL right there.
Yep. So we haven't seen anything weird yet. Still no weirdness in this matchup. It's always like that first 2 to 3 minutes of this matchup. It's like the same stuff every single time. And it's just like, what are you gonna talk about this time? Well, talk about circuit breakers. We've already done that 8 other times.
Yeah. I'm curious. There are like little things. It's just no one in CPL does them. That's what I mean about CPL is being obsessed with super ultra standard play. Like when you watch KSL, ASL, Into the World, whatever it is, you get these like super minuscule optimizations. Like in the most recent series, Sharp was doing 11 barracks cut up SCV 11 gas for his Goliath build, and like no Artosis and them didn't notice that, but it's super cool that happened and like that people do those sorts of things. But it doesn't matter at this level. It isn't. No one bothers with it because you just learn the one build and you get into other stuff later.
Well, I think it also makes it more difficult because it's hard to be like, if I make this tiny little optimization that builds 1% better, when I would say most of the players at tier 3 and tier 2
for a third of a second and it wraps back around to being just as bad.
Yeah, that like if you say, can you execute this build 10 times in a row exactly the same, very few players below tier 1 can.
Right. No, yeah, that's a coach ability. Once you can do the exact same build exactly the same 10 times in a row, you should be coaching probably. Unless you have some limitations somewhere else.
Well, so we do see.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say we see from Reverie that he's getting that first factory and pulled guys out of gas, so gonna be going for an early expansion. Seems like it's a good idea on circuit breakers to get an early expansion? Question mark. That's why everyone does it.
because although he doesn't know where his opponent is yet, so that it's less good in horizontal positions, or less. You have more options in horizontal positions because you can't really get that free fourth as easily.
Yeah, that's
because
fair.
Normally circuit breakers just gives you the free fourth.
Well, I mean, you can still expand towards your opponent. Protoss does want to expand away from the Terran, so it's not like it's going to really stop you from 6. It's just a little harder to establish in the first place.
The rush distance is so short. If there's 8 gateways rallying zealots, and you have to rally factory units to fight that, I've seen a couple of games by decent players. There's a couple in the NYC LAN playlist by Jealous has some really fantastic games where they put command center between the 2 bases, and it just gets brutal meat grinder, bad for everyone all the time. And then Protoss expands out onto the map and does fine either way. Double scout from our Terran player, which I agree with and like, but it's not going to get in, so it's very unfortunate.
The Protoss is doing something a little unusual, going for 1 gateway, getting range, but then getting a pretty fast robotics facility. I wonder if he's going to be going Reaver to put some pressure on.
He did get range? I missed it.
Range is, just finished up.
And there's the Nexus, so now we see if Revi clicks on his Nexuses. He doesn't even get the chance. That's unfortunate. Good play by our Dragoon, our Protoss player, who's doing the Robo thing that I really like and is cool. Super fast observers, and I assume that's into Reaver.
Assume if you're getting that so early on, you have to get Reaver just to have the muscle. Otherwise, something like an FD is just gonna punish you too hard.
One, he knows his opponent isn't FD because he saw the bunker, and two, I think you can what do you call that?
I mean, defending it with one gateway
production.
production.
FD with the one gate goon production, no problem.
Okay.
Ooh, I like this third. I like it a lot.
Yeah, a little bit further away. Won't get scouted quite as quickly, especially if he's going to be using scans to scout for bases.
Well, just because it's so fast. That's
yeah.
That's what I love about it.
Oh yeah, I mean that too. But I like the location as well, though. Not taking taking the mineral or the one at the 9 o'clock.
Right. Yeah. Server coming out. Second factory coming down. Armory came before that. All very good stuff.
Yeah, we got the armory just finishing up now, really adding on a bunch of tanks, not trying to get vultures or anything like that, so looking like he's set up for a pretty good defense and maybe a push a little bit later on. But the observer's going to see everything, giving him an idea.
It feels a little premature. He didn't build a citadel, but he's better than me, so I won't question it. It's just interesting.
Well, I mean, he did get the observer to see the tank out, so maybe realizing instead of getting citadel, I just need some units and I need them soon. Trying to get an idea of how early push is going to be by checking the factory count, checking the armory.
That's fair. There's a marine building. That's weird. I don't... Well, he saw the Robo. I guess that's what he's thinking, is the countering the Reaver, but there is no Reaver. He hasn't even bothered building that.
Yeah, I was expecting it just to fill out the bunker or something, maybe, but even that isn't...
It's a little weird to do that at this point in the game, and he's building another one. That's a medic. He's building a medic.
Okay.
Whoa.
I don't know what this is, but I love it.
A combined bio tank push that just comes out at a super, super awkward, weird time.
And he's rushing for Charon boosters on the Goliaths to fight off shuttles. So this is going to be some interesting timing to make sure he can get some stuff done.
I don't think there's a shuttle coming. It won't be an issue.
Well,
it's such a weird idea. I think it's gonna work, right?
I don't know. I don't know what the power of this attack's gonna be.
Oh, here's legs. Legs has just started. It depends on when the push comes out.
I'm guessing if you're gonna wait for a push to come out much later, you would add on some factories. The fact that he's staying on 2 seems like he wants to get something going soon. It has to come soon. Yeah. It has to come like in the next 30 seconds, I think. Right? Yeah, no, he does see there's an observer right over the factory, so he see that a third one's being added on.
I don't think he saw the medic, though, because that screams push. And that's actually the only thing that's happened that screams push.
Yeah, so we're getting the move out now. He does have the observer at the ramp, so he's going to see the stuff move out. We're going to see what is the reaction from Protoss.
Yeah, what's the reaction to this? I'm super curious. This is fantastic. Okay, so he pushes out. He switches to Zealot production. How long on his legs? A while.
He's trying to move out with their goons to fight this, but this seems dangerous to try to fight this in the middle ground, because if you lose a couple goons...
he can kite it. He can't actually fight it, but he can get damage.
He just has to be careful to not get things
This position is excellent, and this whole push is so fragile. I don't think he can do this, right? Because as soon as he has to kill the Nexus before Legs finishes, and I think Legs is just going to be... Oh, this attack is not good.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of stuff to this tank section. We're gonna lose 1 or 2 tanks, but if all these goons fall, there just isn't enough.
No, there's not. Nowhere near enough.
Yeah, there's only a couple Zealots now. They have Legs now, but this is timed out quite well to hit at a time where Protoss just hasn't ramped up yet.
Production, yeah, and he's only out of 7 gates. If he was on like 9 gates, maybe a single rally could kill this.
But look at Dragoon's money. He can't afford a single rally. He's very short of minerals right now.
Why? Oh, the cannons, because he thought he was going to get pushed at the 3rd.
Yeah.
What on earth?
This is awesome.
Just going for the straight DPS. Oh my god, the kiting with the tanks. That's so weird. He's just going to kill the Nexus.
Yeah,
I
he's losing
think
all
the
that.
game goes on because of the super ultra fast third, and he didn't get that many probes, and now the tank count is reset.
Yeah, I actually would have loved if he kept 1 or 2 tanks back sieging up, and while the rest moved forward and just did for single target DPS.
You don't want to siege because he's fighting primarily zealots, and siege versus zealots is just bad on all levels.
I mean, not if they're all grouped up, they still do some splat. I'm not saying siege all tanks, but just like 1 or 2 just to bolster and have it away from the army. So then even if things go bad, he might be able to retreat and save some stuff. So we got plenty of zealots on the map now moving up towards
I mean, you
that
don't
turret.
really get to retreat from speed zealots as a Terran. It's not really a thing.
That's true.
This vulture push, though, this has me curious.
Yeah,
because I think he can just smash this zealot ball, right?
He doesn't have any speed or mines yet, and the mines are going to be finishing soon. But he's going to have to be He's going to be very careful with the mine placement against speed zealots, and this many of them especially.
But 8 vultures, my man.
Yeah, it's a lot of vultures.
Versus 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 goons. I'm no longer quite so concerned. Oh yeah, this angle. Oh, that's brutal. If Hero Zealot holding the Brit or Hero, yeah, nope. This is just really well navigated by Dragoon.
Yeah, Pro's really cleaning this up pretty good. If there was speed on his out, they get kind of slow more. Good mine connection.
I think we go into a long game from here, right? This isn't actually over.
Yeah, I think there's actually no tanks back in the natural, so if Pros keeps pushing in, they might be able to break this. Remember, nothing in the bunker either. There's no tanks and nothing in the bunker.
No.
So Pros moving forward, or a couple tanks siege up now. Now you gotta back out, yeah. But he keeps going forward, wants to try to hit one of the tanks, not target firing for the other one. Mine's gonna go off too. So not getting everything he can get done there. Overcommitting just a little bit, it looks like.
This Dragoon.
Is he gonna be able to get this tank?
This Dragoon is
that mine finished the job.
If you get all the tanks, it stays worth it forever.
Well, if you look at the top left, we got a dropship coming in with a couple vultures and a tank, and with the gateway.
I like this play from Terran. Terran went, oh yeah, I probably can't beat you in a macro game. Haha, die.
I mean, that's really cool. Yeah, we see stuff trying to get out of here. Nothing trying to go and actually attack these probes as they get out of the situation. But if they can get this Nexus down, we just reestablished one at the natural. So I think Terran feeling good about what he has done, but it's hard to gauge. This game's definitely already been a little weird. So both players probably spots are not fully used to.
I think Protoss is still in the lead so long as the Nexus stays alive because of that the tank count reset, but I don't think the Nexus is staying alive.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go through his little pylon wall to even go and defend it, so he's choosing instead to put pressure on, see if he can get something done at the front.
He caught the third, and there's only 3 tanks, but he's also only got 5 zealots, and there's a minefield, so I don't think he can get anything done.
He's got a lot more than 5 zealots now. Looks like
now there's 10 zealots.
Yeah. With that minefield, if he just went for it.
Yeah, no, he's good. Yeah, he'll win.
So looking like these units from Terran might get cleaned up again, but having stacked sieges makes it a little hard to keep moving forward with goons. Big mine connection doesn't hit any of the tanks, just the goons. That's a heartbreaker for the Protoss.
Yeah, that's rough.
If those connected into the tanks, it might have been okay, but now that Terran has the third base established and didn't lose enough tanks for that push, I think Terran's clearly in the lead.
He killed a Nexus for the price of a siege tank and 2 vultures. I cannot even begin to express how good that is.
Oh yeah. But both players doing these little interesting attacks there are both doing some pretty good damage.
Just in each other's faces the whole game long.
Yeah, this is the kind of final set I want to cast. Like, give me the action.
I think now, because that Nexus went down and he didn't choose to just go up there and kill a pylon, I think he's in a bad position, question mark? Yeah, I think Protoss is screwed.
Yeah, and Dragoon.
Wow!
Yeah, Dragoon just steps
That's how
out.
you know they're good. They get out before I have to tell them they've even lost. Nice.
All right.
That was awesome.
All right, so we got Terran taking game 1. That was an exciting one. That little push with the medic and a couple extra Marines. That was
so weird.
Hit
I
it
have
at a good
that
timing.
replay now. I am going back and looking at that in the future. That's gonna happen because that was weird.
Yeah, that definitely hit at a really cool time too. The Protoss was just ramping up with their gateway count, but didn't quite have like the production there. Hit at like the perfect time.
It was the legs. That was the critical thing. Is they hit it right before legs, like seconds before legs. Oh god, now we get to watch them play on whiteout. I am so thrilled. This is why we have whiteout.
This is why we have whiteout. Well, we'll see. I'm excited to see if they pull out some stuff that makes use of whiteout. Then I'm interested. I think the problem I see with a lot of the whiteout games, though.
Protoss is going Reaver. We can just say that.
Can you say that? I don't agree. I don't agree. I feel like you could go Reaver. You should go Reaver. I don't think he's going Reaver.
I mean, I guess it's a mind game to not go Reaver in and of itself.
Well, we'll have to see what these guys want to go from here. I think it's just going to be early expansions. See, that's the problem I have with maps like this. It has a cool feature where it's like, oh, you should go extra air for the vision, and like drops are really good here. People just still do standard ground builds anyway, and they just don't care about the forest. Like, that's my problem with a map like this. It's just a little annoying, and it's not... Like, people don't play into it really cool. Like, if you want to do a weird...
I've really never played whiteout PvZ, because that is nothing like normal PvZ, at least in the mid-game.
I mean, it is for me, but I attack early. So.
Fair enough. Because, yeah, whiteout PvZ is a joy to play because you have to operate... Either you have to get a shuttle and be really careful with your shuttle, or you have to play with your Corsairs hovering over your main army, which is just cool and fun and adds a whole new dynamic to the way fights work.
Yeah, no, I play with Zealots running into your base.
That's fair. That is also how my games usually start. So I can't exactly complain.
We don't have anything unusual yet, but we did get a gas deal from Dragoon. So that's cool. We're going to be forcing his opponent probably into a gasless expand. It's the logical follow-up for you, your gas stolen.
Right, he didn't pull the SCV, so he is gasless expanding. Watching this guy defend his SCV from this probe is magnificent. It's glorious.
Absolutely.
Okay, there's the SCV pull.
Yeah, and takes the gas. The little BM, always cute.
Well, it allows you to hit C to return. It saves you a trip. Like, you don't have to hit F2, click on the minerals, you just hit C.
Ah, that's a little cute.
Yeah, it's really cute. If you're blocking Zerglings is what it's normally used for. On the Forge Expand wall. Because you can put something with minerals in the very front, and then before it dies, you just...
Alright, so what do you make of it when you see the Terran like pull 4 CVs, really adamantly say, no, I want that gas?
No, this is still a gasless expand. It's a normal build. That's what you're supposed to do.
I didn't think you pulled that many SCVs for it, though. I thought you just let the Marine kill it.
No. Well, maybe not. He's not doing a gasless expand, so never mind. But normally, you want to pull at 17. I believe it's 4 SCVs. He pulled 5 because he was also fighting the probe. But yeah, that's the like super stock standard. They don't know exactly what your build is because you pulled that many and it makes things questionable. But it does look like he's going for a factory, question mark. And possibly something more than that behind it, because now he's got the no scout in his base opportunity. It's weird because a factory on 24 like isn't good at all. So he either has to go for a follow-up or is expecting some sort of pressure to follow this up. Oh, which he got a scout in, so...
he is starting that factory, and he's still continuing his Marine production, so maybe some kind of delayed push similar to an FD. Because he's going up to now 5 Marines and has 6 queued up.
Maybe, it's a 2-fac. Okay.
And we have a forward robo in the main for the
I feel
Dragoon.
like there's literally nothing else he could be doing if his goon comes up.
Oh,
and,
yeah, we're adding on the second factory
4
now.
Marines, and like I don't see how this is not really obvious to a player.
Has to lift off the factory just to move it for the machine shop, I guess, just to get it in a better
It's
position.
better to have your SimCity correct than to.
Yep, I agree. Just always a little unfortunate when that happens.
Yeah, it's like, oh, at least you're not Protoss and just end up with a mess of gateways all over your base because you put one thing in the wrong position.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst. Goon's starting to poke these.
Ramps.
Yeah. Yeah, Goon's poking at these Marines a little bit. Can't really afford to go up and try to pursue that anymore, though. Too many Marines. They're gonna do too much. He's actually hiding some of the Marines, though. Like, he has 8, but he has 3 of them away from the ramp.
He has enough Marines there that 3 goons can't force his ramp before, like, it won't be an issue.
Alright, and I take it back. I'm sorry. We're going Reavers. Just quiet.
Well, I think actually he might not have been planning to go Reavers. This is a reaction to the fact that his opponent doesn't have a command center.
Yeah, and also he saw how many Marines were at the top of the ramp. Seeing 5, you wouldn't just get 5, you would get more than 5. And actually that early missile turret up at the front, I think he's aware of the Reaver possibility, or at least wants to shut down observers so he doesn't have vision of the ramp.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Looking like Terran really set him for some kind of little strong push. So I want to see if the Reaver is going to be enough to dissuade this.
Yeah, it's a 3-tank 2-fact that's super delayed. It's weird. I feel like it wouldn't be good, except as Protoss, I would be expecting something else.
Well, I mean, this is going to be a pretty strong push, and we still only have 1 gateway production, and Dragoon's setting up to take his Nexus, so the fact that it's delayed might actually throw him off.
You're about to get a lesson in FD defense, my friend.
Well, we'll see how well he does. He's got a lot of work to do.
What's he doing? Oh, because he's got 1 super low. But he's got a Reaver now, so never mind. You're not going to get a lesson. I thought he was just going to back up and kite.
Yeah, he's got a couple of Zealots in the shuttle as well, so he can really bomb into this. Doesn't need to be careful with the shuttle with this many Marines, though.
How many Marines?
Well, there was some Marines, and if that Scarab dud, that's unfortunate.
Was so good. I cannot believe that worked. That is insane.
Yeah, all the Dragoons getting cleaned up. Now it's just a shuttle with a Reaver and a singular Zealot. A little bit of reinforcements.
I still think he holds, actually.
Probably still holds with the Reaver there. Depends how much damage it does. Especially, you should be going for the tanks with the Reaver shots, not the Marines.
Yep.
And he's doing just that, expecting nothing less from our Tier 1 players.
Yeah.
Manages to clean this up without taking too many losses. Actually, the Terran doesn't even get to the natural to see that the Nexus wasn't in production.
He knows, though, because you can't have a shuttle and a Reaver at this point in the game without a Nexus being super late.
Well, he had the money to start it earlier, but he delayed it to make sure he could build units. So, right. And Vultures do move forward, and they get the idea of what's going on, lay some mines out at the front as well.
Mines are huge. Good block on the ramp, but I think, actually, that this may be the beginning of the snowball, because the observatory is not even Oh, never mind. He has an observatory. He has an observer.
Oh, no! That's so big to lose a Reaver to a mine like that. This game just went much more in Terran favor. He has the CC can finish and landing as well.
Terran favorite, but definitely Terran favorite. It's close. It's not decided at all, which is something I adore.
Yeah, Terran kept very on top of their SUV production, transferring a ton over and still having a lot at home as well. So this is
that's
second
a control group of SUVs. That's 2 control groups. He's got close to 36 SUVs right now.
Yeah. So despite the gas steal and the delayed opening for things, Terran having a good follow-up for that gas steal. I like the way he's playing this out so far.
Just continuing production is so huge. Because I think Dragoon, I'm pretty sure, cut probes at some point consciously.
Yeah, I think he wanted to get an earlier Nexus, but the moment he was about to start it, Terran pushed out, so he had to delay it. So
right.
I think
so here comes the starport follow-up, and this is going to get real hairy for our Protoss friend.
And we do see the probe moving out to set up the third base for Protoss. So let's see where he chooses to take that, and if the Terran's going to find it reasonably fast.
Coming in to make a push with these Goliaths, hilariously out of position. Or not a push, a drop.
Yeah, the Goliaths are about to have their Tron booster though, so gotta definitely be careful with the shuttle like this. Remember, there are turrets already made in some spots, so gonna be very careful about the placement here. Oh my god, that's a train wreck.
Oh,
right.
He gets a tank. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, any little thing you can get in this situation seems like it's a good.
And he pushes Terran back, which is almost as good. Good call, not risking it for the biscuit.
Now we do see the Zealot legs on the way for our Protoss player, and look like he's finally going to start that third base. Once he gets the money for it, Dragon really trying to maximize what he can out of the money given the situation with his expansion being a little delayed.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, because right, we agreed that Terran has a slight economic advantage, that he got more SCVs and he was doing better economically than Protoss.
I think so, yeah.
So he went into Starport, which is to keep that advantage, right? To keep pushing it. And now he's built a command center. That was what I was wondering about, was do you then go into a third command center, or do you just hit a ridiculously strong 2-1 timing?
I think he's gonna go for the. He's building this command center now. I think his plan was just to get drops, peel the Protoss back to defend the drop, and expand behind it.
Interesting.
I mean, this drop could also be around to look for this third and kill it, just like we saw in the Circuit Breakers game.
Right.
We do have the drop moving out, just with two vultures.
No siege tanks, so it's not for that.
Yeah, just to kill some probes, moving straight up into the main. He sees with the vulture that he's not picking up, that there's no observers, no vision, so it's going to be just pure reaction. How fast is Dragoon to see this happening? Still not pulling stuff. He's going to lose some probes here and some mining time. Definitely could have lost more, but with this small investment of just 2 vultures, definitely not that bad.
And he's having to chase it down with the shuttle. And now he's revealed that he got shuttle speed. So that's not great in general.
Oh, that's actually a pretty big thing to reveal, yeah.
Yeah.
We see the vulture still being annoying. He's going to be able to outrace the shuttle as long as he keeps attention on it.
Vultures are faster than scarabs. Literally.
Yeah. The big problem that Reverie is running into right now, he spent so much time microing these little vultures for not a big result. Look at his money. He's starting to pile up very quickly.
Oh, God. It happens to everyone, but
yeah,
it feels bad indeed.
Yeah, so starting to spend it now, but definitely miss some macro cycles doing that. And he wasn't killing probes, he was running around being annoying to a shuttle, so don't know if that was super worth it. Like, once the...
He got at least 6.
Yeah, like, he did the damage mostly early on. Him, like, micro around circles didn't get him anymore. Protoss has the observer over the third, fully sees.
Protoss sees the third. The third is actually literally completely undefended. So...
Yeah, it's actually also mining. The third for Dragoon still has almost no probes there without the ability to transfer over.
Can he not get out? Is that what's happening?
I don't think he can transfer any over, yeah. So he's got to slow build him up. Wants to make sure a vulture run by doesn't get in.
Wait, no. I mean the Terran. I don't know why Terran isn't. I feel like this command center is actually literally just bait.
Oh no.
Okay,
so let's see.
Was that?
Does this...
Nope.
Get the Reaver move forward. Plenty of siege tanks.
Oh, that was so much damage. All of those, he hit 4 siege tanks with 1 scarab.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of damage, but there's only goons here.
He doesn't have zealots.
Yeah.
So
he's gonna have to back off and give us one up, but he might get the command center. Barely gets it through the repair.
Oh, that hurts. So much. Because Terran had him too. That's what hurts so much about it.
We have a drop in the main of the Protoss base while this is happening. Cleans up a lot of probes while things are being distracted.
How many probes? Total of 5.
Yeah, but he's gonna kill a couple of these Dragoons as well, I think. Got some mines more in the base. And keep slowing down the mining for his opponent in the main.
Dragoon is playing all of these games, or well, I should say both of these games. He's been playing on terrifically low economy. Like really, really shockingly low numbers of probes.
Yeah, let's see if he gets the stuff back into that main, or how he's going to be able to defend that a little bit better, because he can't just keep losing stuff to these little drops like this. Well, we got plenty of vision of this third. Third being rebuilt again, and with the tanks in position, it's going to be very hard to break. I think Pross just needs to try and get a fourth established and let Terran have this mineral only.
I mean, very hard to break is relative. If he just built Zealots, like a control group.
Yeah, but look at Dragoon's money. Dragoon's money is not supporting. Let's build a ton of Zealots right now.
That is true. Actually,
he actually really needs to add on more gateways. He's still on 4 gateways for 3 bases.
I don't actually think he does. He has a total of 24, 20, 33, 36 workers, somewhere in there, which just isn't quite enough.
Well, you can't say 15 minutes into the game in a 3 base versus 3 base, 4 gateways is enough production either. We do see Dragoon postured over on the left side to take that 4th base.
If his money goes above 1,000, it's not enough production. But, oh, 4th command center. That's cool. That's really fast.
We got a drop over at 3rd base. We got a couple vultures in here. All the probes having to be pulled away, but there's cannons to defend this, so I think it's just going to stop mining until stuff can go defend it. But if this is walled off as good as I think it is, only Zealots are going to get through, and Zealots versus vultures.
He'll win. Zealots are good.
Zealots are pretty good.
Supply ultras. Never forget. Okay, so here's this vulture run by thingy where he plants mines everywhere. Finally, I've been really impressed by Revery's ability to play this game without mines everywhere. Because as someone who plays a lot of Terrans, God, the early GG. Okay, I don't know about that one. I was praising it last time.
I mean, he was taking a lot of worker damage over.
He was in really big trouble. I'm not disagreeing with that, but that was before he was actually dead.
Yeah, I would say that game was definitely it was getting out of hand, so I don't blame him for the GG on that one.
Right.
Well, that took a tier 1 game for Salt Mines, looking like our final score ends up being 6-3 in favor of BAS. Which we did have the walkover, so that was closer if given it was C2 versus C7.
Yeah, well done to both teams.
Yeah, a lot of 2-0s, a tremendously high amount of 2-0s, but the fact that both sides are winning some stuff,
I would
and
say, honestly,
there's a lot of weird games.
Over it, there were a lot of 2-0s that weren't like dominating 2-0s, but just somebody lost both games, but they were both close games.
Yeah, definitely the games are closer than the score indicated for a lot of these. So I definitely had a good time watching these. Saw a lot of interesting, unorthodox strategies. Some of them working out better than others, but we definitely saw no one did really super by the book stuff. It felt like everyone adding a little twist or doing something that
was doing cool stuff. I agree with that. This was a fantastic series. I had a pleasure casting with you.
It was great casting with you as well. Do you have a place people can come check out for your stream or when you cast yourself?
Join the Elmaster Discord. That's pretty much it.
Okay. A selfless man not plugging his own Twitch channel or anything like that. I appreciate that. You could see any kind of playoff cast in the CPL Discord as well. They're going to be posted up. I know there is one tomorrow. That's going to be the quarterfinal match with Samyang Fire. And then I think we're going to be doing semifinals as well from them on Friday. Both of those are going to be with Chess Z and whoever's co-casting with him. I believe it's going to be the Blime. I'm gonna try to cast one more for MCMS. That's we gotta get the cast out for everybody, but especially the guys still hanging around. It is me. It isn't Blime. See, I know. But thank everyone who tuned in. Thank you so much for tuning in. We after playoffs, there is going to be regular season cast where we are going to finish up the season. We're just doing playoff style while it's hot and fresh and has the drama behind it. And after playoffs are done, there's going to be the Rookie Star League. So we're going to start a whole new thing with some more casts. Plenty of stuff to come watch. Keep your eyes out. Follow the channels of anyone casting this stuff. Thank you for tuning in, and the next one you're gonna check out is with Chess Z tomorrow. Everyone, have a good night, and Mr. Wizard, thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
All right, cool.